everybody. How's it going? Thank you. Welcome to Fistivities. Welcome to the podcast. Karyn Bryant here. You can call me KB. Renato Laranja isn't here yet. If you guys know anything about the way this show works, he usually shows up. Jeez Louise. When does he show up? Kind of when he kind of feels like it, right? So, at any rate, I'm here now, so let's get it going. This week we have Loopy Godinez on the show. She was victorious on Saturday night at Noche UFC over Elise Reed. She was in the featured prelim, and she completely showed out. It was such a great performance for her. She picked up a $50,000 bonus for her efforts, and, just it was awesome. And we want to talk to her about the win, and just she's got an interesting story of hers, of being Mexican but leaving the country. And I don't know if we'll get into all of that, but just like all of these things that led up to her having this really interesting fight career, and now just totally kicking butt in the UFC, and she's just doing great. So really excited to talk to her. I'm a little, if I'm honest, a little concerned about how Renato is going to be with her. She's very cute. You know how he gets. So, I mean, the thing is, obviously I know she can defend herself. He can't get handsy over the internet, but it's just like, sometimes I do worry how he's going to be with certain girls. But we'll see how that goes. And at any rate, those who don't know, Renato is a 27-time World Jiu-Jitsu champion. And so he does know a lot about the fight game. He just does not know a lot about the correct way to talk to women sometimes. That is what it is. I think I do. I don't know. But I have been an anchor for the UFC for 11 or 12 years, something like that. So been in the fight game for a while as well. But it's like fun for me to see somebody like Loopy come along, who, when she first even got to the UFC, she had a few fights pretty quickly, and kind of got on the map kind of quickly, right? And so she was somebody that a lot of us were already starting to pay attention to, and then just seeing her have just another big win and stuff like that was great. So, and of course she is also, or maybe not of course, I think we talked about this on the show, but she is Alexa's training partner and stuff too. So we, for this camp, that was something that they had tried to do in the past, and they weren't able to connect because Loopy just kept taking fights and didn't have time to like completely move her camp, which I think is too funny. So we'll talk about the fact that this time they did team up together, and they went through camp together, and everything. And so, and just in general, it was a really great night. I don't know, I closed my doors because I was like, oh, it's getting a little cooler. That makes me sad when the weather changes. But now I'm like, I'm hot. I might have to open that. But so, anyway, folks, this is episode 98. That means there are 97 other episodes for you to see. And last week's episode actually has two fighters that are throwing down this weekend. So we have Dan Ige, who is in the co-main event against Bryce Mitchell. And we also have Brian Battle, who is fighting AJ Fletcher. So we are going to, we already spoke to them last week on last Tuesday's show. So you should check that one out. Renato has some pretty funny clips on his Instagram, Renato_Laranja, if you want to see some of those right now. A couple of clips with the guys. But we had a really good time with them. Dan is from Hawaii and definitely has that Hawaiian fighting spirit, and he discussed that with us, and how that comes about, and just kind of his youth, and kind of knowing. I put a clip of this on Insta the other day too, about him just kind of knowing that it's like that during when he was riding the school bus, he's like, I might get in a fight today, and just growing up out there, and that was the kind of vibe. But there's something about the way that they fight and stuff that we know obviously from guys like Max and stuff. So it was cool to talk to Dan about that, and obviously it's a big fight with him and Bryce. He's the co-main event. And then with Brian Battle, we got into all kinds of stuff after The Ultimate Fighter, and the success that he's found there. He switched weight classes, and of course, he's one of the founding members. Well, he's not founding. What Renato called him, a delegate on Team Lightskin, that he was a first round draft pick. So, but we had a good time with Brian. Pooh Bear, who I think although on my official paperwork, I'm working this weekend, officially I think he's going with a different nickname, but Pooh Bear is kind of fun to call him that. So we got into that on the show as well. So yeah, so this weekend Oh, let me see. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit behind on my looking at you guys. Hello, Suavecito. Great to see you. Oh, thank you, Melon Juice, saying nice outfit. Thank you. This is a dress this dress I bought in Paris last year, not on this trip, on last year's trip, and I really like it too. So, I was like, I'm wearing a dress today. Yeah, okay. So, let's see. Can we, you know what? This is a Melon Juice saying, can we talk about Renato's move from Twitter to Threads and how that's going for him? That is interesting. It's funny that you bring that up because I wanted to actually ask you guys about that today. I was sharing the links to this on Twitter. I'll still call it Twitter. I'm not going to call it X. But and then I was like, oh yeah. I still never used Threads. I signed up for it, and obviously, whatever, it's all connected to your IG or whatever. I signed up, I guess, that day. Remember there was like that day or that 1 week when everybody was like, F Twitter, because I forget what Musk had done that day to ruin it even more. But so everybody was like, I'm getting on Threads. So I what do you call it? Like logged on or whatever, since it's automatically connected. I've never been back. I didn't even look at it that first day. I think I just kind of, which I don't know, whatever. I guess I was a bandwagoner that day. I just kind of hopped on and I literally didn't even look at it because it was just kind of like, let me just do this thing and let me get it. And then let me see, like if it takes off or whatever. I've never been back. I've never looked at it. I've never looked at it. So I don't know what's going on Threads. And it dawned on me today when I was sharing some stuff. I was like, yeah, I wonder if I should share this on Threads. Like, does anybody go there? So you asking about Renato being there makes me ask if you are even there. I don't even know. So, yeah, I don't even know. So yeah, I'm curious if people are interested in, or like if people are interested in Threads. I don't know if that's something that anybody's going to use. Okay. So a couple of things there. Joe Bellotti saying, I know I'm working this card this weekend, but do I see the main and co-mains as striker versus grappler matchups? I mean, the co-main more, but it's interesting because we talked about that with Dan and he was saying like, that he's got more jiu-jitsu than people think or whatever, like that he's got more than any, but people maybe are already giving him credit for. And so, I don't, and we weren't trying to say, like that he can't handle himself on the ground, but basically I was kind of intimating that whole idea that, with Bryce, with him having 1 of 3 twisters and all this stuff, that maybe you want to keep it on the feet with him. But, yeah, it's not like Dan can't go anywhere with him. So I feel like, yes, that one is going to sort of be seen that way. In the main event, they're both so good and solid. And I don't know I feel like they both can do a lot more. I don't know. I like Gamrot. I don't know. I like them both. I mean, look at if Fiziv is over there at Tiger Muay Thai all the time, but I don't. I'm not sure. I don't think that one is as cut and dry. I don't know. At this point, everybody's good at everything, right? Like. That's kind of an overstatement, but like people have to be a lot more well-rounded. I feel like, yes, we do a lot of times set things up as striker versus grappler for big picture, sort of big brushstrokes of how something is. But I feel like when you're talking about numbers, it's like number 6 versus number 7 lightweights. So, I think at this point they're all pretty great at a lot of stuff. But yes, obviously you get some people who are still specialists. Edson Barboza has a fight coming up against Sadiq Youssef, and Edson is still very much a striking specialist. I get that. I don't know. I'm just looking forward to it. We will have a Chidi's Choice on that for Gamrot versus Fiziv. So that is coming up a little bit later in the show. And also, last week, Chidi picked Alexa, and Alexa did go home with her belt. So technically, Chidi was correct in that one. We did have a split draw. I know there's a lot of talk about the scorecards and a lot of things going on about that last round being a 10-8 round and how it could have changed, the course of the future of all kinds of things. We can definitely get into that. And as I mentioned, Loopy trains with Alexa, and so we can get her thoughts on that as well. But, it was a 10-8 round, and usually a 10-8 round is supposed to be more decisive and more of a beatdown. I was going to try to make a funny little segue to this, but, I thought I saw Renato, and then he went away. I don't know where he went. See, I was going to say it was like something about him beating down somethings, and now he went away. He was here. With the favela Wi-Fi, it is always a thing, right? It's always a thing with the favela Wi-Fi. It always matters where the splice is. It always matters if the person he spliced it off of has paid their bill, right? It looks okay. It looks like we're back, folks. So, every now and then I score a 10-8 round against this guy. But if I'm honest, most weeks I'm on the receiving end of the verbal beatdowns, and it is what it is. I don't know why I signed up for this, but 2 years later, here I still am on Tuesday nights. This is episode 98. So once and again, let me welcome in my co-host, 27-time World Jiu-Jitsu champion, Mr. Renato Laranja. Hi.
Oh, how are you? Hi.
How are you?
How are we today?
Oh, we're good. We look like we're trying to be extra classy for Miss Godinez. Is that what's happening?
Oh, now I just took a bath just now, and I'm replenishing myself with natural wild Mexican cactus wine from Guadalupe. And just like every time I'm relaxing to the show, and nothing different here.
It seems a little different though.
Oh yeah, you're seeing things through rose-colored glasses. I think it's because you're attracted to me.
I don't think that's it. I think I'm having a kind of a crazy.
I think in this context, it's you a wild cactus hose that you're seeing it through.
Is it? It might be. I feel like, if I'm honest, we might both be crushing on Loopy.
And what are you prepared to do about that? Because of the two of us, one of us is put our mouth where our money is, Karyn.
Yeah, it's funny.
The other one is whistling Dixie.
You're right. I've never gone out with a girl. I've never even kissed a girl or whatever. But it's funny because every now and then you go, I think I just discovered what my type is. And I think it's Loopy.
I understand. It's one of those stuff you don't know you need it until you didn't know you need it until it came there.
And then, no, but I'm halfway kidding, but I do think she is. She's just really great and obviously such a great fighter, but she's just like, there's just so much about her that's just so likable. So please be kind to her, Renato. Don't try to put your...
What kind you want me to do to her?
I just know that sometimes you get a little bit...
Well, you said please be kind. What kind you want me to do? I can't. I'm versatile. Oh God, let me fix the curls here.
Yeah, I know mine are a little minor funny.
Never mind yours. She's not concerned about that one.
Look at it. Look at this though.
She's only concerned with this one.
Is she? I think she has a boyfriend.
Well, you used to have a boyfriend too. That can be changed in a heartbeat.
Touché. That is very true. That is very true. Yeah. It's so weird. Every week I put more light on, and every week it seems darker. It's very strange.
Well, because listen, every week you're dealing with a guy whose face is like a tapestry. It's like the colors of the. Look at that one. It's like kind of like Tuscan the Tuscan sunrise or whatever, you know.
Is that what it is?
And this is like Sancho Fe, you know, like you can mix with turquoise jewelry, all kinds of stuff like that. Dry flower arrangement, whatever you like.
Okay. I think I see her. I think she's maybe here in the green room, almost ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Yes, there she. Okay, so but again, Renato,
Yeah.
don't go crazy.
I haven't went crazy yet.
Bianca behavior.
Who's Bianca?
I said Bianca.
Never mind.
Anyway,
Bianca.
folks, we're gonna just see how this goes. I think it's a little risky, but we're gonna see how it goes, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in the 14th ranked UFC strawweight Miss Loopy Godinez. Hola.
Hola.
Loopy. Salud, Loopy.
Salud.
Salud, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y ustedes cómo están?
Muy bien, muy bien. Bienvenidos a nuestro show. So great to have you here.
Muchas
Con
gracias.
mucho gusto.
Con mucho gusto. Now we're gonna practice our I actually know a little bit more Spanish. Renato, both of us lived in New York, so we all know a little bit of Spanish, and we also live in LA, so we all know a little bit of Spanish. I used to study it years ago, but Renato, I bet you probably have you probably only know pickup lines in Spanish, right?
Sí, claro que sí. I used to learn my Spanish from telenovela.
Telenovela, yeah.
You like a telenovela?
Yes, I do.
Also, you know who is my favorite, Poha? Aside from telenovela, it's a Walter Mercado. You understand who is Walter Mercado?
No.
He do your zodiac sign. He have your blonde hair. You go like this. Entonces, tú eres Virgo.
Okay.
Muy, you know, that stuff like
Yeah,
that. And he's a very masculine, you know, and very gorgeous. And I'm very much similar to that one.
No. I thought he was the Super Sábado Gigante guy, but it's not.
Sábado gigante. La mega.
Super Sábado Gigante.
Sábado gigante.
Hey, so listen, Loopy, congratulations on the win. Massive win. $50,000 extra dollars for you, which is
where are we going?
Anywhere you want.
Oh, God,
Don't encourage him.
No, encourage that one. We only have one life. Vida por
Una vida,
vivir.
¿verdad?
Una vida.
Vivir.
But I mean, I know, whatever, we built it up so much, but it was a big deal to have a lot of you guys fighting on Mexican Independence Day. Then for you to secure such a commanding win. How good did that feel?
Yeah, it felt great with a new team, with a new camp and training with Alexa, 8 weeks. It was amazing. I felt amazing that night. It was perfect. I couldn't feel any better. The energy in the arena, it was amazing. I couldn't describe it.
Yeah, it was impressive. I mean, you kind of stole the show, to be honest, because man or woman, I haven't seen. I mean, not to disrespect the other chick, because she was look, she's a tough customer, and she's
Elise
actually
Reed. Yeah.
she's very good. And you may some of the stuff you did to her. Like there was one moment where you pieced her up with a combo against the fence and then took her down. It was like maybe the most awful thing I ever seen. I mean, it was the most. It was like God damn. It was like carajo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I was like, wow, that was crazy. I mean, I was speechless. I was like, well, goddamn.
Yeah, with the full training camp, with the right people, I can do a lot of things, big things.
We can see that.
I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really my confidence and my training and everything is, I feel like I go a step up of before.
Yeah. I mean, when you threw that combo, were you just in the flow and then doing the takedown, or it's like that's something that combo and taking down is something you practice, or you was just kind of improvising?
Yeah, well, we train exactly that. Exactly what we just saw
Oh,
that Saturday night is exactly how we train it. It's MMA. You gotta punch, you gotta kick, you gotta go take down, you gotta do jujitsu. And working with Colin James, working with with Francisco Grasso, working with Diego Lopez. Like I can see my jujitsu improve so much. Like my hands, my wrestling. I was just seeing everything,
yeah.
and yeah.
It's so cool too
Wow.
because for folks who don't know, your background is more in judo and yeah, and grappling and everything. So the fact that you are putting these combinations together and you're able to join them with what you're doing is so great because it's hard for people to really match up both elements, but you're able to add the strike. You're able to put them together very, very well. So obviously that must feel good.
Yeah, and it's funny because the striking coach was saying you're gonna knock her out with
Yeah.
your punch, with your left hand or whatever. Then the jiu-jitsu coach said you're gonna submit her and you're gonna get the
Of
bonus of the
course.
night. And then the wrestling coach is like you're gonna suplex her, you're gonna make her fly, right? Because
Yeah.
each one of them they believe in me so much and they see
Yeah.
me every day and how I'm moving, how I'm feeling. So of course everyone was in the department like you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna
Of
do this.
course.
But
Yeah.
it was nothing better than I did everything. I took her down,
Yeah.
like pick her up, slam her. I got to do some jujitsu, some attempts for submission, and I got to use my hands. Like the three coaches got there, I cannot ask for anything better.
And they could not ask for
Perfect.
anything more. I mean, it's the kind of fight where if you want to show somebody what is MMA, this woman is doing that. I mean, this is textbook what you would want to do to somebody. I mean, God, it was. I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm not just saying that. And I mean, look, I'm not just saying that because you know, of all the other goodies and stuff like that. Uh, because I
Yes,
would just
Loopy
be
Goodiness. Loopy Goodiness is
Goodness,
instead of Godinez.
listen. Oh,
goodness,
oh, caramba. Oh,
goodness.
caramba. Um, I would just be focusing on that stuff, but I was very, yeah, I was like, wow, this is, you don't see one-sided, aside from just a knockout or something, you don't
Yeah.
see, because the UFC is very good to putting together matchups. You don't usually, and again, I don't want it to sound like I'm talking shit about the young lady, Heed, what you
Elise.
said?
Elise
Ali,
Reed. Yeah,
Heed,
no,
yeah,
but it,
yeah.
it was one way traffic. It's just a fact.
But it's just one of those stuff,
Yeah.
okay? Nothing against her.
No.
To be honest, I didn't have a dog in the. Well, I did have a dog because I thought whenever you have a night like that, you want the Mexican fighters to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no matter what you pretend you say, so I wanted the Mexican fighters to win, okay? But I wanted to see a great fight. You know what I mean? No matter what. And I was like, wow, Loopy is just like dismantling this woman here, and it's unusual to see that much of a mismatch like that.
Yeah.
Hats off to, I mean, hats on
Yeah,
to that,
yeah.
but
It's sometimes in the UFC it's hard to see these matches like that now.
yeah,
Everyone is pretty well rounded. Everyone is training. Everyone is strong. Everyone has good cardio. You're winning fights by inches or by who won it more or
Yeah.
like
uh, I
yeah.
used to win fights by a lot of inch, Carayo, and also in my personal life can always change the complexion of the
So
argument
sorry.
there. But oh,
But no, but you're right, and so it's usually much closer than that. So now you're in the rankings, and you
what
one of the
number?
thing 14, which is great. So one of the things that's so fun about you and why you are able to make such an impact is you fight frequently. I was explaining at the beginning of the show that this time you were able to train with Alexa, and it was something you meant to do before, but you just took a short notice fight instead. You were like, oh wait, my bad, I'll come down and see you guys soon. I mean, how long has it been in the making for you to team up with Alexa and her team?
Yeah, so after Calvillo's fight, which he was, yeah, uh, I was like, okay. The next camp, I'm gonna go to Mexico, do my next camp there. But then 2 weeks later, I was actually vacation for 2 weeks after Calvillo
Mm.
in Mexico in Puerto
Nice.
Vallarta. and
Oh,
then
vacation. Because you
Yeah.
live
yeah,
in Canada?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then so I went back. I actually got super sick the week before, and
Oh, no.
that worked out because I didn't gain any weight. I was vomiting, and I
Oh,
had
no, vomit.
horrible,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
horrible. But I didn't gain any weight, so it was perfect.
No, no.
Yeah. So
I
then I
want you
got
to
to
have more
Canada.
weight. I like you more weight.
You like booty. You like big booty.
Dios. Dios mío. Yes. Sí. Sí.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Then I go to Canada, and then a week later, I get a call, or not even a week later, maybe less than a week. Jason is like, "Hey, can you fight next weekend? Whatever, 2 weeks or
Right.
something." I'm like, "Oh man," I'm like, "Yeah, sure." They step on the scale. I was super light. I'm like, "Perfect." I go show
Wow.
up. I tell Francisco Grasso, "You wanna be in my corner? I promise you, next camp is gonna be full, and I'm gonna go over there." He say, "Okay, no problem." He came to my corner, but working with them, it's been amazing, and
Yeah.
I
I've
bet.
been going there 2 years ago. I went there for the first time. I went there only for a month,
Hmm.
and used to meet them and everything. And the first time I was there, I'm like, you know what? I love this team. These people are amazing.
Yeah.
And then,
What?
uh,
No, go ahead.
yeah, and then for me to change that much that drastically,
Hmm.
takes you have your team at home, you have your home, so it's hard just to be like, okay, peace, I'm going to the next one. It's hard to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
that
yeah,
move.
yeah.
But then after Calvillo, and also after Angela Hill, I'm like, you know what? I need to make a change here. I'm not getting the
Yeah.
looks what I need to improve.
Yeah.
Sometimes the coaches can be good, and everything could be good, but sometimes there is no more there to keep improving, if that makes sense.
Loopy, that
You
make
know?
complete sense to me.
Totally.
I feel like in your fighting life it's the same in your personal life. Sometimes the man you with
No.
is like he need to be secure,
Here we
and
go.
then so you can came to Los Angeles and to try some other stuff, and to enjoy yourself, cara. You
I
understand?
mean, I don't.
It's
You do.
very similar
You're
because it
you.
don't work. If you imagine her coach was to balk at her going over to
So she should tell
Mexico,
her boyfriend she needs some other looks, and that
she
she
can.
should.
Imagine. I mean, you could do worse looks than that one. I have a couple different looks here. I mean, have Egyptian cinnamon here, and then the wet look here in the curls.
The porn stash look.
The
The
mustache is, I mean, that Checo leave that one. There's just some spice. That's like you putting fresh saffron or cilantro on there.
well, I have to ask. So because obviously being able to train with Alexa and her team at this point in her career too is also awesome. Like when she beat Valentina, like everybody kind of lost their minds, right? Like
Yeah.
lost their minds. Nobody's done that. We all know, right? Like nobody's done that. Nobody does that to Valentina. Like nobody does that. And so it was so shocking then to have this fight, the second fight, which was absolutely incredible. When she knocked her down, we were like, oh my God, like what just happened? And like we instantly were all like, nobody's ever done that before. Like nobody's ever done that. Like we were
That
all
was
freaking
incredible.
out.
Incredible.
Unbelievable. And I know there is a lot of drama, and I know, there's a lot going on about that 10-8 round and whatever at the end of it. But for you being inside that camp and everything, like what's your takeaway from how the fight played out and what's happening with everything now that it came out as a draw?
Yeah, as you say, Valentina is really tough, and it's not easy to put her down. It's not easy to do any of the stuff that Alexa did to her, right? Like we've seen it over and over again, and nobody, and everything that Alexa did, we work on it, Like if you see our fights, we did a lot of similar stuff, you know, taking the back. She took her down, similar as me. When hit her, if you see, I run towards Elise, and Alexa also run towards Valentina. We did a lot of
Yeah.
stuff similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon it's gonna be a highlights
Oh,
with
you
that
mean what they
stuff.
put side by
Yeah,
side?
side
That
by
one?
yeah.
See.
Yeah.
La,
So like
alado.
Alado.
lado.
Let's see.
Uh, but yeah, like she had her back. She rocked her, when she punched her, and Valentina did the spinning back thing. At the end, she controlled her. She was, you know, Alexa did a lot of the stuff that we work on, and you know, maybe it's gonna happen the trilogy, and it's gonna be one of those big
Oh,
fights like
of course.
Moreno,
Of course it's gonna happen.
you know.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a trilogy. No
Yeah,
matter
it's just
what.
I know Val has to get her hand. She said she might need surgery on her hand though,
Yeah,
so
so
Right, I just saw that.
maybe
Yeah.
one
it's gonna be a
fight and
while.
then
Right.
trilogy. Yeah. No,
Right.
but
But what I
listen.
also
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no one thing I
Well,
was going to say that was so interesting to me in it was you could see Alexa's composure during the fight, like even in the worst moments,
100%.
even when it
Always,
was like the
always,
closest call and the scariest whatever.
always.
Alexa had a very peaceful, controlled look. She never lost herself. She never looked stressed out. That just spoke to me about how prepared she was for that.
She have that. She have that spirit. In the first fight, when she came out in the beginning, I went, "Oh my gosh, she's gonna win this fight." You know what I mean? You can just see. You can see somebody's not playing around.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that they know they're gonna win. There's a very difference in there.
Yeah.
And she always have that. Even she's got the back checking in the first half. She still look like, yeah, no, I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she hits her with that high hand, and she flip over like that. She don't look like, wow, look what I did. She's like, I've been here before.
She's used to it at the gym.
Yeah.
Everyone at the gym is doing that when
She's
she
a heel
punches.
fighter. She's aside. There's sometimes there's two kind of people. There's born fighters, and then there's people who is athletes with techniques. She's both of that one. She have the technique, but she have that thing you can't teach, which is like the dog, the fighter spirit, the warrior spirit. And I believe you have that, but it's hard to tell when you're beating the shit out of people like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's crazy. But I look, and I'll tell you what. I disagree with the Chen 8 hound, but I don't disagree with the draw. And I don't even disagree if she won the fight. Not with the Chen 8 hound, but there's different ways I saw that. I saw a coin flip. I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Yeah,
It was
the fight
that close.
Yeah, it was really close.
Yeah.
But to be the champ, you gotta beat the champ.
I
And
agree.
Alexa showed
No.
last fight, finish the fight.
I agree. And I had Alexa winning, but I'm gonna be honest, I was biased. So I can't trust myself.
Right.
So I said, when I saw that it was a draw, I said, I like this the best because no one can complain. But then, of course, people can complain. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't know what the
It's
fuck to
always
say. But
right.
to be honest, I feel fucked up because I know Michael Bell, And I will say this. I don't know about some of these judges. This guy, I don't know about that call, but he does know. He does know MMA, and he does know jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. He's not one of these clueless people. So I don't know why he had a Chinese hound in there, but he's not an idiot, and he's not a person who don't know what he's looking at. I will say that.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of these things. So I saw him after the fight.
Wait, you saw him?
Yeah.
You saw him? Like you guys seen each other now?
No, I'm not seeing him. We saw him at the hotel after, and he knows he's the source of a lot of discussion now. You know what I mean? And so,
Of course. Well, hey.
it's a tricky thing, but regardless, it was an incredible fight, right? And if anything, yeah, like Alexa just proved again by doing these things again and for the first time against the opponent that everybody thought was unbeatable on this, on that, it's really incredible. But I am curious who you want next. You stay so active, and now that you're putting these things together with that great camp, and I feel like the sky's the limit with you anyway. But have you guys kind of thought about your road, up the rankings?
Yeah, I mean, whoever they give me above me, it will be great. You know,
Like who?
um, anyone, like
Oh, come
you
on.
know.
You know who you want. Let's say it. Why not?
No, like honestly, I couldn't give you a name because when I
Oh,
look at the list,
Yeah.
I'm honestly like everyone is good. You know,
okay.
everyone is gonna bring me something good for me that is gonna make me improve. You
Right. Well,
know.
here, I'm
Like
going to
Okay.
look at these right here, Renato, because she's already fought some of the girls above her. But
Aside
then,
from the
yeah.
champ, okay, who do you think is the who do you think is the highest ranking person who you have a height to call out? Who you deserve to call out? Is the highest you think?
So, well, okay, I was just going to say, so she's already fought Angela. Michelle Watterson is fighting this weekend,
yeah.
right? And Michelle is number 12. So you could call, what about you and Amanda Hebos? Does she have a fight? She's number 10 right
Ooh.
now.
Amanda Hibas didn't she switch to 125? I don't know if she's
Oh,
going back.
yeah, she's kind of going
Yeah.
back and forth.
If-
Wait, you
if
said
she's going back-
175. Wait,
No,
what?
125.
Oh,
No,
120.
so Marina Rodriguez is fighting this weekend too, but Tabitha Ricci is number 11, Luana
Oh,
Pinheiro is
Chavita
number
is
9.
that high, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You
I
and
know
Tabitha
her
could be
from-
fun.
I know
Yeah.
Chavita from a long time ago. Wow.
Yeah, you could be fun. Or Luana Pinheiro. That might be good.
Luana.
Like 14
Go,
versus
go up
number.
higher. Who's higher? Who's higher?
So number obviously it's Zhang. Then Carla's number 1, but she's about to have her baby. Yan Xiaonan is number 2.
Wait, who gave her a baby? Oh, caralho.
Her husband. Yan Xiaonan is number 2.
Wow.
Tatiana Suarez is
never
number
know.
3. Amanda Lemos is number 4 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Andrade
There's
is
some
5.
tough chicks. These
I
are some
know.
tough
Yeah.
chicks. Oh shit. I was
Andrade-
like- it's funny. It's funny because she was
They're
so
all tough.
dominant. She was so
Yeah.
dominant that I'm thinking, like, in my mind, I'm going, she's gonna steamroll all these chicks.
Right.
And then when you started going up there, I was like, okay, these are good fights.
These girls are good. Right.
You know,
But that's
like-
the whole
like-
thing.
I
But like,
couldn't call.
Huh?
I couldn't call someone because they're so good. That doesn't matter who they give me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just gonna be a step up for me, to
Yeah.
right.
like step up my game.
But honestly, 14
Yeah.
versus Ricci's 11, so that's like a smaller jump. But you could bite off something bigger. You're right though, because Amanda is going back and forth. But Luana Pinheiro, Marina, yeah, jeez. But
I want
they're good.
I want
There's-
a name. I want a name for her where the person thinks they can beat her. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who would that be? Like, give me who's number 5?
Oh, you mean like Andrade or something like that now? Because
Who's number
Jessica,
5? Who's
Jessica
number 5
has
is?
now been a little, people. I don't know. Okay, so number 5 is Jessica Andrade.
Oh, I'm talking about someone like that, or who's maybe true down.
Or number 6, you and Virna Janjidoba would be good.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Yeah, but
That'd be a good fight.
Jean
She's number
Gidorba,
6?
Jean Gidorba is not a household name. You know?
Okay, but number 7 is Mackenzie Dern. You going to give her you and Mackenzie? I mean,
No,
everybody would
because-
watch that.
No, because then her and Loopy is gonna be fighting over me, and it's not fair.
Stop it. But the hard part is this now, Renato. The hard part is
Okay.
this. Somebody
What-
like
what's the hard-
somebody like a Mackenzie, somebody like a Jessica, somebody like a Virna, they don't want to fight behind them now. So here's the problem that Loopy
True.
has is she's too good. She's
I
too big of a
understand.
threat now. She's too big of a threat now.
I
So
understand,
now
but
everybody's
here's what
going to
you
go,
do.
I don't want to fight behind me because
what
the
you do.
risk is too high because Loopy's
Hold
too
on.
good.
Hold on, I understand that, but if you have someone who's cocky enough to believe that, you know what I mean? Like there might be someone cocky enough to think she's easy work. You have to find the one who's cocky, or you have to find an
I
event
could be
in like.
cocky, but not stupid.
Right.
Yeah, but maybe as stupid or too. You know what I mean? Like sometimes somebody could be a good fighter, but they're a little stupid. But also another thing, when is the next Mexico event?
I don't know when, but it will be great if I can get
Because-
opportunity there.
That might be okay. So someone might take a fight with you, thinking, "Oh, it's gonna be this big car in Mexico, all this shit." You might be able to use that to your advantage. You know what? I usually don't do this, Loopy. First of all, I'm gonna give you my private cell number, and I'm gonna manage you. That's it. It's settled. I just thought about this right now. I should manage her because enough is enough. I'm telling you.
Go ahead.
No,
Coger, rápido, coger.
No, not coger. No, not coger. Indian hair. Good hair.
No.
You understand?
To your point, though, about a show in Mexico, that is something that we've been talking about at work because they know, like, even Dana's like, bro, I know we need to go back to Mexico, especially when we had Yair and Brandon and everybody doing so well and Irene fighting for the title and everything. He was like, look, yeah, we got to go back there. We know that. And so I think that it was one of those things where they tried to see if they could pull it off this year and they didn't. They couldn't, but I think it's back on the schedule because I was at that one in 2019 and we were talking about that. Actually, the last time we were in Mexico was the last time Alexa fought at strawweight, and then she moved up and went on a tear.
Yeah, that'll be great. I think it will be a great opportunity. I guess I need to train and wait, right? So
but don't be afraid. But one of my advice to fighters, just period, in the UFC, after all the years I've seen this, it doesn't hurt to call out somebody you want. I used to be on American telenovelas myself years ago.
Can you believe that? Isn't that crazy?
And let me tell you something, okay? One of the stuffs that someone smart on there told me years ago was they always looking for storylines, okay? And even if somebody make it happen what you want to happen, like if you see a woman on there that would be a good fit for you in the show, if you ever seen, so I used to play a detective, okay? And there was a woman who was a doctor. And we had a scene that was just somebody was dead, and she was doing the autopsy, whatever. It had nothing to do with
Was this with Abe's daughter, right?
Abe's wife.
Abe's wife. Oh, right. Lexi Carver, right?
Yeah, because, well.
This is Days of Our Lives, Loopy.
Listen, like he sang to the hourglass for her. So anyway, I took that advice, and when we was doing scenes that have nothing to do with nothing, but a dead body or this and that, I threw in there romance. I put the you know what I'm saying to you? And lingering look, maybe a touch on the arm, something like that. And then the people who hide the show started to create a romance. Okay?
Right, yeah.
So they always looking for a storyline. They always looking for something to push, help them. You being quiet is not some kind of like, oh, you know what? She's been a good girl. Let's give her something.
Right.
But Loopy, she picks up every short notice opportunity.
I understand. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Of course, keep doing that. Do that. But don't be afraid to speak into existence what you want.
Yeah.
The worst that can happen, they don't give it to you.
Yeah.
But don't feel that you're being an asshole if you ask for what you would like, and maybe it don't hurt to even daydream about, hey, what is the path that I want? Because you think about this, Loopy. You do this in training, right? You said yourself, you did those combinations, the takedown and all that shit, and the same stuff that in the fight where you knock her down and you hunt toward her and all that kind of stuff. So if you can also fantasize and think about how you want the career to go, you know what I'm saying? It can't hurt. It can't hurt. What's the path? You know what I mean? And then, instead of being at the mercy of, oh, we're going to throw her a bone now. We're going to tell her what she's going to do. Start thinking about it that way. Maybe, it can't hurt.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll start talking like Nate Diaz, just calling.
Yeah, being like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nate was at your fight. Hey, well, here's the thing, though.
Smoke some marijuana.
Maricon, right?
Maricon. Oh, that's a whole different.
That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing. No, but I was gonna say, that actually the timing does work out, right? So like I said, Marina Rodriguez is fighting Michelle this weekend, right? So like Marina is currently number 9. If Marina wins, that's actually a solid call out because you guys, the timing is good. You know what I mean? You both fight around the same time. She's higher than you in the rankings. Like that kind of stuff could be good. But like I was saying, like I think the hardest part is going to be people agreeing to fight you when they know the risk is going to be really high.
That's always going to be her problem right now until she hits until she cracked the 10 or
Yeah.
top 5, whatever. There's always going to be a something for someone like her. But the good thing that she had in her, and when you have the looks too, you know what I mean, and that's very marketable, and someone could piss someone off and make like a Paige Van Zandt. People used to fight her that had no business, that there's nothing in it for them to fight her skills wise, but they just wanted to beat her fucking ass because she was popular. Am I lying to you?
No.
Yeah. So use that to your advantage. I'm telling you. Look. Clearly, I'm use my looks to my advantage, Loopy. Caralho.
Really?
I see.
You
I see.
understand? I'm not gonna waste that once.
Renato, we can't
Yeah.
keep her here all night long. But I
Speak,
do.
hey, speak for yourself.
I know you wish you could. You wish you could. You wish you could.
What we, Kimo Sahabi.
I am curious.
I have a lot of
Albino.
questions. I have a lot of questions that don't have nothing to do with fighting, and also don't have nothing to do with amour or nothing
Do you
like
like
that.
long walks on the beach?
No,
What's your
not that.
no.
Well, she have a very interesting story, and I didn't even know about this stuff until I researched, because I did some research because I'm interested
About leaving Mexico, you mean?
about leaving Mexico. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about that stuff, but it's very interesting. I mean, I'm sure some of the viewers don't know about that.
I guess my thing on that is the condensed version of it, right? Is like that you guys had to leave because your father was pressured by the cartel, basically give us protection money or not, right?
But this wasn't the New England cartel. This wasn't
No, it's not the New
Tyson
England
Chartier.
cartel. This is in Mexico, and
Oh,
honestly,
okay.
the thing about that storyline that's so interesting to me is like, so you leave because of pressure from the cartel, but like you're famous now, like so. Is there still pressure? Like, does that linger?
Oh,
Because
shit.
now
I
it's
didn't
like
even
very
thought about
easy
that.
to find you. It's not like they can't find you,
Yeah,
or
well,
did the
the
fact that
thing
you
is-
left like remove the problem?
Yeah, the thing is, they're not. Yeah, they're not behind people like individuals. They're after businesses. You know, you have your big business. I don't know, car dealerships or a store of
Ah,
some sort, and like
yeah.
they just ask you for a fee every month. You know,
Or like in
yeah,
my case, like a candle store where
exactly.
we sell, we sell
So
all
they
kind
say,
of
yeah,
stuff.
give us some money every
Huh?
month, or we don't know what could happen to your car lot, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
But
caramba.
now, I've been back to Mexico a lot of times now, and you know, I feel safe. I have and
It's old
never
news.
feel anything weird or yeah, it's
But
fine now.
how old were you? Okay, so
It's
you was
15 years
pressure.
ago,
So wait, how many years?
around 15.
So you must have been only 2 years old. I mean, 3 years old at that time.
No, I was like 14ish, almost 15.
Oh wow, wow. So when you moved to Canada, what kind of culture shock was that? I mean,
Yeah.
what was the feeling of Canada? Okay, I'm here.
Yeah,
And it's
it was
cold.
hard. The thing is, my dad told us we are four girls, right, and my mom. So four
Okay.
sister, me and three sisters, and my mom and my dad. And they told us we're gonna go to Disneyland to vacation because, yeah, because of course if they tell me we're gonna move to a different country, of course I will be like, no, we're not,
No,
right?
of course. And then you're gonna cause all kind of trouble. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Exactly. So they
yeah.
told me that we go to the airport in Mexico City. Then all this is like Vancouver, Canada. I'm like, what the hell? Where are we going? That's not Disneyland. And my dad just says, oh,
That sure ain't Disneyland.
yeah. He say, change your plans. We're going later or something. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So I just show, we had so many bags. In my head, I was feeling something weird, but I'm like, that is like, it was like I couldn't accept that it was actually going to happen.
Sure.
But I was feeling something. We are flying. I cried the whole
So
ride.
scary.
It was like
Of
5 or 6
course.
hours, a
Yeah.
straight flight, crying. Go to Canada, blah blah blah, all of that. Then that day or the next day, my dad was like, "I'm okay. Tell me what's happening, right?"
Mm.
Then he says, "Well, we're gonna stay here. Like that's it." So now imagine, I didn't speak any English. We didn't know anybody. My dad didn't have a job. We didn't. We couldn't go
Wow.
to school because of the papers and stuff. But you know what? That really gave me a lot of balls
I
to
bet.
like take the fight, because taking a fight is so easy. That's what I do every day. You know, that's easy.
Yeah.
And then you get paid to do something that you love. You know. Now imagine my dad bringing to Canada four girls that they don't want to be here, plus my mom, leaving everything behind.
Mm.
He had his business. He never had, like, he didn't have to do anything himself. We were lucky enough to have,
Yeah.
you know, workers and stuff. So
Yeah.
now you, when you're in Canada, you're starting from zero. I started
Yeah.
cleaning toilets. I used to, you know, in Mexico we had people that help us, and now I'm doing it. You know, I'm
Wow.
cleaning houses. I'm cleaning a bar. My mom is doing that. My
It's
dad
like the show
started to
Schitt's
clean
Creek.
cars.
You ever seen Schitt's Creek? It's a Canadian show.
I've
It's
never
Oh,
very
is
seen
that?
similar storyline. But anyway,
Oh,
go ahead.
yeah. So my dad, same thing. He started to clean cars and like slowly to open his business, like slowly, slowly, slowly. But my dad is really like doing always stuff. So thanks to him, like we got to advance. But it took him exactly 15 years for him to open his business in
Oh my
Canada. So now
God.
he
Wow.
has his business, and now he is not cleaning cars. Like now he's selling and buying cars. What he
Again,
Like
back
what he
he
used
back
to
loves.
what
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What an
he
Wow.
incredible
speaks.
story.
Yeah, he didn't speak any English, and he still
Yeah.
doesn't speak that very good English. But somehow he makes it happen, and he's doing so good. Same as my mom. My sisters are, you know, traveling all over the world, wrestling and representing Canada, and they want to go
Wow.
to the Olympics. And now I'm in the UFC. I'm doing good, you know.
This is
So,
amazing.
It's amazing.
mhm,
Yeah.
This should
yeah,
be a show. They can
It's
you can
great.
this should be a show or a movie or something like
It
that, you know?
seriously, well, because that's what I wanted to ask you about that. Because yeah, your sisters, you know, that's such an interesting thing that when you got to Canada. So were you already kind of into judo and sports and stuff in Mexico, and then rediscovered it in Canada, or did you just start when you got to Canada? Because yeah, like your sisters, all of you are very athletic, and like you just said, like they're wrestling, they're probably going to be in the Olympics. Like that's incredible to have that much talent in the same family. It's like John Jones and his brothers, two
right.
brothers in the NFL. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when I was a little kid, I was always so hyperactive, you know. So my mom always had to put me in running, blah blah blah. So she took me to running, and the coach, one of the judo coach was there and like, oh, let's try her, and uh, 3 months in, I was representing Mexico, my like I was traveling all
That's
over
crazy.
Mexico,
That's awesome.
competing
So
like right
naturally
away.
talented, just naturally,
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
yeah. And then, but then I started growing up. Of course, my boobs started to grow and
Right.
like to
Oh,
hurt.
wait. Caralho. Let's
But
explore
Slow,
that.
stop
don't
the
worry, they
hallelujahs,
didn't grow
Renato.
that much. Don't worry.
But that's
It was just the
okay.
pain.
We
It was
we have to
just the
start
pain.
somewhere. We have to start
I
somewhere
guess.
for her.
But I'm 30 and they're gonna probably go lower.
Thank you.
Not not at- not on
I'm
my
in the itty
watch.
bitty titty club myself, Loopy.
Not
It's
on my
fine.
watch
It's
for her.
fine. It's fine.
So then
Push up
I you
bras,
know,
it's fine.
exactly.
Yeah, it is
You know, I
fine.
hit the teenager part, and then you're too cool to do that stuff, right?
Right.
I
Oh yeah,
decided
yeah,
to
yeah.
quit it. I was just being cool myself.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff happened and went to Canada. After a few years being in Canada, I got to try again judo. I hurt my knee. Then I started jiu-jitsu. Then I saw Ronda Rousey in TV. And then I'm like,
Mm.
I want to do that. And then I started training. Took me 2 years because I was so scared to get punched on the face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Took me 2 years to get my first fight, and then I started with not the right path. I was losing like three in a row, and I was like, keep pushing. I want to do this,
Wow.
and yeah, until I started like
What
doing
made you
better.
what made you think, okay, after you lose your third, what made you think you have anything to give to this?
I never see myself in a normal job.
So you said, well, it's this or nothing here.
Exactly.
Okay,
I'm like,
okay, yeah.
yeah, I
I
have to do
understand.
this, or I have to do this.
But
I
that's
understand.
amazing too to be losing, but to still know that you're meant for this, right? Because a lot of people
Yeah.
get discouraged, and a lot of people want instant success. And
Yeah.
if it's hard, I don't want it. Like that's
I can
amazing that
imagine.
you were losing and you still were falling in love.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because my dad is the same way. Like, so many people shut him down.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to do business with you, or not everyone wants you to clean their car, or
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
everyone wants you to clean their house. So
Sure.
he had to take a lot of no's, and I was with him because we used to go to houses to knock.
Oh
Hey, would
wow.
you
And so,
Yeah.
like us
yeah.
to clean your car? And then we had a little vacuum. We had everything in a little van that, to clean cars, to do our little business detailing.
Right.
So I also got to experience was to be out over 8 hours a day trying to find
Yeah.
customers and taking notes, and some people rude, just closing the
Yeah.
door, and
Yeah.
some people really nice, some people really rude. We met a lot of nice people that we still talk to those people, and they have seen the whole change in life, and it's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
You get your
Yeah,
ego in check. You get your ego in check too.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
it humble you in a certain way. I
Yeah,
remember, my father was a great Kahari champion, and then at one point the city took his bulldozed his school. It took his school away from him. He lost it to the city, and we had some hard time. And he used to go down to get downtown to get like trinkets and stuff like that to sell on the street. And we used to sell some stupid shit, like you get in Chinatown or whatever. They have these cosmic balls and stuff. And I'm a little kid, he put it on there, and we're like, my dad's like, that, hey, they're selling like hotcakes. Get it while they have. And I'm sitting out here, we out there hustling. And of course, somebody from school see you, that nigga's broke. But you say to yourself, well, hey, we gotta do what you gotta do. Boy.
Gotta do what you gotta
exactly.
do.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean? You
tell
gotta,
you, yeah,
yeah,
I tell you a funny story. I will never forget this. So when we go to Canada, we are 6 people in the family, mom, dad, and we're 4 girls, right?
yeah.
So we couldn't rent an apartment because it's too expensive.
Ugh.
But his friend helped us out, something, something. We got a nice paying house in a hotel for cheap, okay? It was summertime, so we know school. We stay in the hotel while my dad, he got a job. It was a painting job. Do you think he ever painted in his life?
No.
No, but of
No.
course he's just gonna do
Right?
that shit. Yeah,
But he's
yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
But wait,
Yeah.
he goes no English. He goes with actually they were Indian people. They were Indian.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
have a lot of Indians there. They have a lot of construction companies like painting.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah,
that's
yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of Indian there. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
yeah. So anyways, they give him the job, and they give him the big ladder. My dad
Yeah.
have never carried a ladder. My dad is scared of heights. He's
Oh
scared of
no,
heights.
no.
So they tell him, you gotta go up there and paint up there, right? And my dad is like, no.
Oh.
I was like, you gotta do it. But my dad, what? He has to do it. And then
Right.
they say to him, I don't want any paint on the floor. Okay?
Oh.
But of course, my dad is shaking. He doesn't even know how to carry a thing. And now he's over there painting with no hardness, no
Climbing.
nothing, right? Yes. Of course, he do the floor. He gets dirty the floor. They come and they say, "Go home,
Oh
go
no.
home," right? But he had no idea what was go home. He didn't understand. So he was just standing there while the guy is telling him to go home.
Oh no.
Yeah. He come home. I see, the door, so you can see.
Sure, sure. The
I see
Yeah.
people, yeah, the
Yeah.
people, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I see him with he didn't even make it to lunchtime. He came back with his bag of lunch. And then he's like, you know what? I don't know. They say go home. What go home? I'm like, they say you're done, right?
Yeah.
Then, then, uh, then that day, he's like, okay, let's go find a job. He took me and my sisters. We walk and walk and walk. We went to car dealership
Yeah.
to ask for jobs for my dad. But like explaining with no English. Me, my dad, cleaning cars. But like this is good English. Like it was
But you're
like
just
terrible.
miming it like clean. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
like
yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
cleaning
Yeah.
cars, right? Some people,
Yeah.
okay, open the computer and we type in translation. Oh
Right.
no, thank you, no, thank you. Finally, someone give him the job, and he started working for like $10 an hour, and like just detailing. But then
Yeah.
2 weeks later, he's like, $10 an hour. I cannot feed those girls, right? Like,
Right.
Sure.
obviously, I'm paying rent and everything in Vancouver. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So then I don't know how he did it. He bought a van like that day. I don't know how he did it. That was days or a week or two after, right? That he was working. Then he contacted the guy that for the product. He bought so many products, a vacuum, and that's how we started
You start the business.
the business, just going
The
house by
detail.
house.
But that's so
Yeah.
that's incredible. Like that's such
Yeah.
an incredible story. And like I my dad was a self-made man who was born dirt poor in Virginia and made himself into a man. Same thing, like night school and hustling here and grinding here and after the Air Force and starting his own thing and building it up. And like I get that. And I guess that's maybe what it is, right? That mentality of hard work is something that has always been present in your life. So the hard work of being in the wrestling room or this kind of stuff, like it's hard work, but at the same time, you probably recognize it as like a gift and a gift to be able to just fight for a living, right? When you don't have to go and
True.
like fight for your living every day. Like, that it must feel good to know that you come from hard work and you can keep doing it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so that's why, like you wanna fight next week, and I'm like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
I take a
Sure.
plane, I show up, someone pick me up, take me to the hotel, they give me the food.
Yeah. They
I have
feed
to
you.
make
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Right?
It's pretty easy. So yeah, I just try to, I guess I just try to see things how they are. The more
Right.
sauce you put it, the more difficult it's gonna be.
Now, I got a question. We're very aware of the Mexican immigrant experience.
Well,
in
people, by
Amer-
the way, I just wanted to say, yeah, like a lot of the comments here are just saying, like, yeah, unadopted, saying that's the Mexican warrior spirit surviving in a
Yeah.
foreign land. And this person saying they're a painter, Elmo saying they're a painter, they love this story and stuff like that. Yeah, like it is true. I mean, it's really, it's very
I-
inspiring.
My first job in Canada was cleaning a bar.
Okay. Wow.
In the same hotel where we were staying. I'm
Yeah,
like, I need
yeah.
to make some money so I can call my friends to Mexico. I wanted to
Yeah.
have some money. I have no money.
Nice.
And I forgot how much they were paying me, probably $8 an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, I will
That
never
job, I know that
forget.
job. I've did that job. It
I
stinks.
will never
The
forget.
smell of stale beer and sweet syrup shit. Yeah, it's disgusting. I know the smell. It's
Yeah,
awful.
the
Yeah,
vomit, the bathroom was disgusting, but you know what?
of course.
Took it up and did it, and slowly, you work yourself up, and I
Yeah.
work construction too. I did
Yeah.
concrete. Yeah, waking up
Yeah.
super early, and so
It
and then go
sucks.
training after. It sucks. Yeah,
Yeah,
cleaning
it's
houses.
thankless too.
Yeah.
At least MMA is like when you have a success. At least you get to see some kind of appreciation for your success, for your hard work. In those jobs, nobody give a shit.
No.
Like you did your hard work, you feel like you want to fall down dead, and then like, okay, see you tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like no,
exactly.
at least in this one, you got people talking about you or something. you know?
Right.
Right.
But I got a question about we're very aware through movies and everything, the experience of Mexican immigrant in America. I have no clue what the experience is like in Canada. Is there a community of Mexicans in Canada? I've never even heard of Mexican in Canada.
Yeah, there is a community of Mexicans and Indians and Chinese, and
I
there is
understand all those others.
Yeah, there's a
but
lot of Chinese in Vancouver for sure.
also
Yeah.
so many Indian out there. However, I never, to be honest, when I heard you was Canadian Mexican, I've been around for the block. I mean, I'm 27. Okay, no, I'm kidding.
Times two.
I'm kidding. But and I never even heard of a Mexican Canadian. I never
Mexican
Even,
Canadian.
I never even considered it.
Yeah, there is a lot of Mexicans there. Yeah, like that, but mostly, the immigrants that go and stay for 1, 2 years, 3 years. I don't know. Some people they move there but it's
But do you
not
have
that.
neighborhoods? Do you have neighborhoods like a Boyle Heights or East LA? I
Right.
mean, is there even a Mexican neighborhood out there?
I don't think there's a Mexican
No.
neighborhood, but
Okay.
there is communities like Indians. It's called Surri. Surri.
I seen it there. I
But
seen
so
that.
now,
You've
but
been
see,
there?
I want like Mexican poutine. Like I want my fried dude.
hey,
How good
I
would
want some-
Mexican poutine be with
I
like
want some
asada on
Mexican.
it?
I want some Mexican food chain too. Wait, what the fuck?
Oh, there she, no.
Okay.
No, but like if we could get poutine, I don't eat meat, but like if I could get it with some like
No,
just
it
like
would
even just
be-
the salsa and the sauces and some shrimp on there.
It would have
Yeah.
to be like the
Camarón.
enchilada sauce or mole sauce.
Yes.
And then
With camarón.
what's that?
Oh.
Cojita?
Cochito cheese, yeah, and like
Cochi-
Yeah.
are camarons, or is that Portuguese for shrimp? Is that right?
I don't know. It's shrimp. Yeah.
It's right.
Yeah, shrimpy.
But like a Mexican poutine would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Mexican punching. I've had Mexican punching before.
You
It's
wish
amazing.
you had Mexican poutine.
Now, speaking of which,
We gotta let her go soon, Renato.
I'm
Wrap it
gonna
up.
listen. It's hard to let her go.
I told you, Loopy, before you got here, I was like, we might both be crushing on her. Like who, but I mean, do you feel that? Like, do you feel? Renato, I'm sorry, I know what you're gonna ask him, but like, do you feel that sense of that everybody likes you, right? Like, are you aware of that because everybody likes you?
Well, thank you. I try to be myself. That's all I do. This is me. Like,
Yeah.
I just sometimes I talk a lot of shit, but that's me. And
I understand.
yeah. So yeah, it's just my personality, I think, and I do feel like I'm likable. If you don't like me, then too bad. I don't care. But if you like
I
me,
agree.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
De nada. but okay. So I had a fans of mine was ask me, okay, you gotta ask Loopy. She said something in the interview where she said it's hard to date a Latina, it's challenging.
Okay.
Tell me about that experience.
Oh well, I was like, I was in a moment. I was just joking, like
That's fine. But
You know,
tell me
we
a little
have
something.
we like our way, I guess, right?
Very different from other females in other heads and stuff. Yeah, very
really
unique.
different, right?
Very
Yeah,
unique.
totally.
Same shit.
None of us
It's
like
the
getting
same
our way
shit.
at all.
So
Yeah,
unique,
it's
yeah.
same shit.
Whenever I hear people of different races talk about their women, and they think it's like a unique, it's like black women be like this, or Mexican women be like that. You're like, yeah, you mean women, carajo? Or Italian women, you're just describing women, porra. You know what I mean? But
that's true.
listen, I've experienced some Puerto Rican and Dominican women before, and also Mexican. But I tell you what, those Puerto Rican and Dominican was a lot more trouble even than the Mexican ones was nice.
Were they sweeter?
Was nice. The Puerto Rican and Dominican ones want to stab. They want to literally stab.
They want to cut you.
Yeah, carajo. They want to fight you.
But those are like New York Puerto Rican girls that are like tough.
Them chicks is very tough. I tell you what.
tough.
I tell you, I'm surprised you don't see more. I think the scene in MMA in New York is the boxing is so big in New York. I think the scene because I can imagine some of these Puerto Rican girls. We don't see that in the UFC too much,
Not too much. Pearl.
I think
Pearl
Valerie
Gonzalez.
Lajeda. Oh,
And
true,
Pearl-
She's
Pearl
from Chicago.
Think so. But yeah, you're right. There's not as many. There was another Puerto Rican girl, I thought.
Now, what kind of men?
What about La Fiera? Is it?
Yeah, there's some, and I know.
Aside from Puerto Rican girl, now what kind of man? So you was exposed to different kind of men than in being in Canada. Are you the type that you gravitate toward Mexican men, or you like all the?
Are you with a French Canadian
The
guy?
handball.
No, I don't discriminate.
Oh, I like that. I'm the same way, cara.
Me neither.
You
The
know, as long
color
as
to the
they're
handball.
good, they're nice,
Yeah. And also they're gorgeous or whatever. You know, you like guys that look like they on the telenovela.
You know, Renato, she's not single.
Now,
She's
let me
not available.
She's not saying
available.
who told you that? That's lies. That's mentira. Mentira.
Mentirosa. Mira, estoy mentirosa.
Please tell me you're not with that good-looking guy with the hair that go like that.
Diego?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, thank God for her. Thank God. I thought that was my competition. He looked like he
because he was in her corner with the hair.
Yeah, I'm like, Caralho, I gotta poison his you know, I gotta do something for get him out of the way first.
Montezuma, okay. You gotta Montezuma revenge him.
Montezuma revenge, okay. But it would be like a telenovela between you and I, Caralho. I mean, and him. Imagine that one. But if what kind of Spanish accent is in Mexico is the most attractive for you? What area?
What area? I like the north accent.
That one is the north? What's that one?
Oh.
Like you can tell me a famous person that have that one. Like Antonio Banderas.
I don't know any artists from there actually.
Oh, you know,
but
you know, I can speak.
Chihuahua accent is pretty nice. It's like
what that one's like.
Oh, I don't know.
The Chihuahua accent. I'm trying to.
Chihuahua. We only know the dog Chihuahua out here. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I can give you. What if I provide for you, the Castilian one? I can go like this. Tú eres muy.
Oh, that's
beautiful. Yes, it's muy.
Are you from Barcelona?
Barcelona.
Sí.
Yeah.
Sí. I don't understand.
My friend has a friend that I just met on the weekend. Actually, she's from Spain.
Oh yeah.
From Spain.
The accent.
He's from España.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I love it.
They sound like Sylvester the cat.
No,
you know what I mean? Like they fit the pretty cat.
Honestly, in high school, some of my best friends were Mexican, and they would like sign like they. I remember one of my friends. So one of them was Nacho because he was Ignacio, right? Nacho. So Ignacio, when we called him Nacho. And the other one was Memo because he was Guillermo Luis Cantu Sainz, right? And he ended up playing soccer.
They always
and stuff
have
in
30
Mexico.
Fucking names.
Exactly, with the four names. Exactly, and Nacho too. And I remember it was like, because I went to this private school in Massachusetts, right? And they were like diplomats' kids or whatever, and it was like, okay, Nacho, or like, you know, where are you from? And they're like, here. And they would like point out a part in Mexico. They were like, here. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, okay.
A very specific part of
Mexico. Yeah. Like, you guys are from there. But it was great because they were like, I went to this private school, this boarding school, and they were all boarding students, but like either the relationship they had with their parents or something, like these kids could basically kind of do whatever they wanted and didn't get in trouble. And I was a day student, so I would sign out. All the Mexican kids would come and sign out with me, and they'd all get in my car and we would just drive and go to like hang out. And I've got all these pictures of them hanging out at my house and all this stuff. And we'd like bring them back late to school and they never got in trouble or whatever.
Because those
Mexicans,
that's like the one. There's like one of the guys, the most hitchest guy in the world. The guy who have like he's a Mexican guy who have like the communications, like the cell phone companies, or something like that. Yeah. He's like that kind of guy. So they're not worried. They're not worried.
No.
Yeah. See.
No. But yeah, listen, Renato, we have to let her go. She's been on with us for quite some time, and I love it. I'm just making sure that we didn't miss any questions and stuff like that. But everybody's just basically, you know, the fans are all just like, everybody's a big fan. Everybody likes you. So that's the whole thing. So, yeah.
So the fans want to know, is it true you do have un novio?
Huh? A novio, yes.
¿Qué?
Sí tengo novio.
Sí tengo novio.
Carajo. Qué lástima.
Qué lástima.
Qué lástima.
My phone is gonna die pretty soon here. I'm just
and you've been on.
So is your novio.
Her novio is not gonna die.
I get my hands on him, carajo.
Listen, Loopy, thank you so much. Muchas gracias. And listen, you're just.
I forgive you.
You're awesome.
Him I can never forgive.
Him we can never forgive. But congratulations
He's dead to
again
me.
on the win. And it's just like, it's great when somebody's such a good fighter and they have such a nice, fun personality as well. Like, it's just even more to like. So wishing you all the best in the future. And it's just been fun watching you already, and I'm really looking forward to more. Right, Hanach?
Thank you so much.
Oh, correct. And what is your novio's name so I can make a voodoo doll of him? and you're gonna put sangria on there and say some stuff so you can break up to him.
Eli no tiene nombre.
No tiene nombre. Así es.
No tiene nombre. Muchas gracias.
No, Chengo.
Gracias.
Chengo hambre.
Yeah, you're hungry. We know. All right, let her go. Thank you so much, Loopy.
Amor, Carla.
Let her say goodbye before you embarrass yourself, Renato. Thank you, Loopy. We'll see
Bye.
you soon.
Thank you very much. See you guys.
Adios.
Adios. Adios, amor.
Adios.
Adios. Until we meet again.
I mean,
I've never seen someone undress me with their eyes and more. I felt like a piece of meat, though. Carne. I felt like a piece of carne.
Carne asada.
No, you know what I felt like the whole time when we was here? I felt like to her I was one piece of al pastor. Okay? Because, it had like a head.
All you are is lingua. You're just lingua.
Well, I have that too. And women don't mind a lingua every once in a while. But let me tell you something.
If your lingua is good, I'm not mad at you. But
listen, I'm a cunning linguist. The truth be told. But let me tell you something. For her, and you look like the al pastor with the pineapple coming down, drizzling down there. And she couldn't help herself. And I don't blame that one. And to her boyfriend out here, no hard feelings. It is what it is. When you're attracted to someone, you're attracted. When there's animal attraction,
I hear you. Wait. I'm gonna open my door. Hold this hot. It's hot. I got hot. I want to open my door.
I bet you. You don't have AC like I do here. You don't have any other creature comfort.
I do have the AC, but here's the thing. I didn't turn it on because I was like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like the weather has started to change here.
Yeah, I noticed the weather had started to change.
It does start to feel like fall. So I was like, okay, well, let me close everything up.
It's fall because both of you was fall in love with your Uncle Hanach.
No, but you know what? Again. I want to just say one thing.
Why?
And I know, especially, there are certain, I know we don't really get into politics here and stuff like that, but there are certain politicians who love to demonize Mexicans and, make them awful. Make them the enemy and stuff like that.
No, I don't
But
believe
when you
that.
hear stories about what she went through with her family and the work ethic, the heart, like the willingness to do whatever it takes, like that. That is so honorable.
They're lazy, carajo.
Yeah,
they only want to do.
That just infuriates me when people say stuff like that. I'm like, really?
Wow.
So the people that are busting their ass are lazy.
There's some tough customers. There's some what are they? Bad hombres.
Bad hombres. Nah, that kind of stuff makes me mad.
Women,
kind of stuff makes me mad.
I'll tell you what. The Mexican women is welcome as far as I'm concerned. With open arm, I welcome that one. Just like a journey.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
They can come over here, and I'm gonna put that to work.
Oh, Elmo needed a reminder, but he's going to light a joint. Thanks for reminding him. What happened? I'm not sure what reminded you, but okay.
Mexican.
Oh, we were saying, yeah.
What was it they used to say? Mexican. What was it? What was like a Acapulco Gold? That was it.
Acapulco Gold. Base God saying Uncle Hanach unbutton that last button and wonder why she's looking.
Yeah, you wonder why you was looking, Base God.
You better cinnamon.
Behia.
Behia cinnamon.
I give them the mole, all that one. No, and I give them horchata.
The horchata.
My kisses taste like horchata. They taste like horchata. Like a Castilian horchata.
The
or tata.
Kafilian.
I'm gonna make a takahia, a fusion takahia, where you say all the shit like this. You know what I mean? The
I want some Mexican poutine. I think that would be fantastic.
You know what you look like when you was just doing that now?
When I was judging? What?
You remember when Dana, what's her name? Why can't I remember the fucking name?
Because you're old?
No. You dirty, you hot bitch. What's her fucking name from
What are you talking about? And I can help you. I don't know the context. Give me a clue of the context.
Sigourney Weaver in fucking Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Remember when she's looking wild? Yeah.
Yeah. She's on the bed. She's like, are you the key master?
Yeah, the gatekeeper.
Oh, God, I'm the gatekeeper. Are you the key
master?
Yeah,
I'm Vince Clark, the fucking gatekeeper. I mean, the fucking key mash.
How good is Ghostbusters? God damn.
Ghostbusters, people don't, back in the day.
It's so good.
Yeah, you had less shit. Okay, do you remember this experience? Do you remember before? See, this was great before the internet and all that kind of stuff. I remember like a year before the fucking movie came out, you would see the poster for Ghostbusters. Right. And it had the fucking ghost and the thing through it, and you didn't know what the fuck it was. You didn't know any star that was involved and nothing. You go, what the fuck is it? You see it at your local,
ghost with a no.
At your local movie theater, you go, what the fuck is this? And somehow you knew that something was afoot. You know what I mean? You was like, wait, what the fuck is this here? You know what I mean? And, I miss those days. It's like, of course, we had less choice. It's funny. With all the advancements, look, I wouldn't give away the internet for nothing, or all these streamings and stuff. Yeah. It's great to have. But there was a certain sense when you had less choice of how special something was. And also the fact that everyone was watching the same shit. Yes. So there was like this sense of community. Now, people could watch 7 seasons of something you never even heard of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's true. So we've lost the. I mean, that's why things like the Super Bowl are still touchstones culturally, because you literally have to all watch it at the same time.
I appreciate that, and also holidays. I think holidays is so important, even more important than ever. Holidays. Right.
Yeah,
like
because
Halloween is the only shit that we share now.
We share, because honestly, you're right. Like, I remember, not to age myself or whatever, but like Happy Days was a thing growing up. And remember when Fonzie literally jumped the shark, which is why the phrase came up or whatever, jumping the shark. But like, it was a big thing. And like
on the skis,
everybody in America, like, it's true when you look back on these old things about like Nielsen ratings or whatever, and you see that that meant a quarter of the United States was watching Happy Days at that same time. It's incredible to think of it. And I agree with you. We've lost that. Yeah, we've lost that communal.
The last Cheers. Everybody was watching the last Cheers.
It's like, so you can kind of see it, and it's like one of those things where you're like, okay, half the people in America watched Squid Game, or half the people in America watched, whatever, but we didn't all watch it together. We didn't all get the, oh, crap.
And you didn't watch it at the same time.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So you didn't have that collective, like, oh, snap feeling, which is why I will say, I do like the idea, actually, when Killing Eve was on a couple seasons ago, Megan and I did a Killing Eve reaction show afterwards, because it was fun, because, like, every episode was fun, and you would, like, get on and be like, holy crap, I can't believe they did this thing and that. Like, I do like live reaction shows for that kind of thing, because there aren't that many things anymore that we can all collectively get excited about at the same time.
Absolutely. That's why I kind of enjoy. It's funny because if a show is available to binge, I will binge. Yeah. Okay. But I get angry when a show doesn't binge, when it's not available.
Right.
But at the, you're like, when they leave you on a
now you're used to the binging
fucking
option.
Piece of shit. You know what I mean? And then, but you forget. Then when it's time to come around, you get that excitement. Like and sometimes you forget. You're doing your daily stuff, and you go, "Oh, you know what's on tonight? Winning Time or one of these fucking shows." You're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch that shit."
Did you like Winning Time? It got canceled. I didn't watch it. Is it good?
I can't fucking believe it got canceled.
I wanted to watch it actually, and now that it's canceled, I don't know if I'm gonna.
You should watch it, because I was just telling people, I was texting people to watch the fucking Winning Time, because It's so fucking good. It's very unique. I never seen anything like that one.
Yeah.
It is if you.
I know I'll like it, and that's why I'm bummed. I
You
was
would
watching
love
some
it.
other stuff, but like I
It's
know I
so
will like
good.
it, and then I heard it got canceled.
Frankly, I'm shocked it got canceled. And when I found out it was canceled, I was like, I don't understand.
You're mad?
I seen HBO shows I never even heard, like Carnival or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
huh? I mean, and you're gonna get hit of this? I don't know. Uh-oh. Is it you? Am I? Is it me who's
What is
going on?
happening? No, I don't know what's going on tonight. Sorry about that. You there?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on.
So anyway, but yeah, and it's one of those stuff. It's like with every advanced technological advancement, and like for instance, I love that I can, like, let's say, found a hip hop sample at the drop of a dime. I'm like, where the fuck did they find this? And I can find that out, you know?
Yeah.
However, I remember the joy of when you couldn't do that, of when you was like digging through hackers. You look at this hacker and you're like, I'll take a chance on this one for 25, 50 cents or whatever.
Right.
You bring it back and then you found most of the songs suck. And then you'll find like a Gangstar sample or something, and you go, oh shit, you know, and nobody knows this. And you go, oh my God. I mean, there was something about the working for it and it being something that only a certain people could find this shit.
Right.
There was a mystery and a romance to that. However, so I don't know what is the get out of here. You gotta go. Sorry.
Who was that?
That was Olive, and she wants to get up in the mix, but not
Where's
right now
Rudy?
because Hoodie is down on the floor. She's just
Feeling
knocked
better?
the fuck out. She's feeling better, but she's old. She's
old. I know.
She's an old lady. I mean, she's like she snores and makes funny noises and she's just.
But you know,
I
it's
love
true.
the fucking
Getting
dog.
back to the whole binge thing, it's funny because, like, so for example, on Apple, the morning show is back now, right? And I actually do like watching shows about television shows because it's what I do. And so, for example, like, you know, there's been obviously different shows throughout the year, but like, or throughout the years, but there are shows about like television shows, and I do like to watch them.
You must love like shows about Creole witches and stuff like that. Like
honestly,
anything.
Being Mary Jane was a good one because that one actually had what's her face as the star of it. The one who's married to, or it was Gabrielle Union. And she was like this TV anchor and black lady in a world where there weren't a lot of that. Like, I related to that show like 100%. Like, so I really liked that show.
Were you in The Craft, the movie?
No, but I'll do some OB on you right now.
Oh,
but anyway.
Wait, I gotta say something funny here before I forget.
But The Craft was actually a fun movie. Yeah, right.
I like that movie. It's funny. It's fun and silly and whatever.
Yeah, it's like the 4 high school witches and stuff.
Campy, kind of. But now I posted, you saw it, that fucking video I made of Huggy Bear. Of Pooh Bear, okay? You know that shit was funny.
So Pooh Bear, for folks, time out. Pooh Bear Brian Battle was our guest last week.
Yeah.
He and Danny Gay were on the show last week. They're both fighting this weekend, so you should check out last week's episode. But anyway, Renato put some stuff on Instagram with Brian Battle and his long
a lot of it was about his luscious locks and his Jerry curls and shit like that. So I made a tribute to his Jerry curls or whatever. Anyway, so because it had that, I put the song from Coming to America, that Soul Glow shit under there. Yeah. Someone goes, I swear to God, I was just watching Coming to America the other day, and I saw Karyn Bryant, and you know, I was like, no, but I know exactly who the fuck they think it is.
Totally.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The one who's like, so I'm a singer and I'm an actor. I'm gonna try actress, and then I'm a model. Yep. You know that one? I was like, I know exactly who you. And I never considered it before, but I was like, I know exactly what the fuck. You know what? We should just say it was you.
Arsenio? Is she on the?
She's talking to both of them because they only switch Arsenio to the other side when Arsenio was playing the female.
Right. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Right.
So
Right.
she's
Right.
talking
I
to both of them.
totally know who you're talking about.
On that one, they're falling asleep because she's like, first I'm going to be a model, then I'm going to try an actress, and then a singer, and they're going like this. You know,
Looking for their queens.
but it look kind of it do look like a Karen Bryant type. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the hair, the features, the stuff. She's cute. She's cute.
Yeah, yeah. It's just funny. Here's the thing, Renato. A lot of people, and we should talk about it. A lot of people in the comments are discussing it, and so we should as well.
Hmm.
I don't have the footage, but we got into it a little bit with Loopy, but
Yeah.
so 3-2 Val, I think, to be honest.
Oh, for you? Oh, okay. So for me,
But it was super close. And here's the thing: when we were watching it, so we're watching it, and it's like the first round, you were like, I don't know, like I don't know, you know what I mean? They both had their moments, right? And then like
yeah.
2 was when I think Alexa dropped Val, right? But
Hmm.
then like 3 and 4 were very much Valentina's. So I think it was like the thinking was like
It's
2
arguable
and
though.
5 were Alexa's, 3 and 4 were Valentina's, and round 1 is the one where you're like, I don't know.
Listen, I think Loopy had such a great point, which is if we honest, whether or not we like one girl, we lean towards one or the other. A fight that close is more of a toss up, okay?
So the whole beat the champ thing is what you're getting at.
I've always look the combat sport that I watched most growing up was boxing, and that was always the wisdom about boxing was listen, if it's a fucking toss up,
It
it's go
goes
to the champ, okay?
for sure.
And
For sure.
in this case, it was even less than that. They gave her a fucking draw. And in a draw, the champ he changed the title, okay?
Right.
But I understand that the fucked up part is we all scratching our head at the 10-8,
It
which
wasn't a 10-8.
of course not. I don't think there's anyone in the world who would say it was a 10-8, and maybe even Michael Bell would maybe if you ask him again.
That's what I'm
Okay?
saying. We saw him after, and he's like, yeah.
However,
it is what it
that
is.
don't change the fact that I think, to be honest, I think probably the best outcome happened because I didn't saw a clear winner in that fight. I like the draw, to be honest.
I agree with you on that. To be honest with you as well, when I say 3-2 Val, it's like hey, maybe it was 3-2 Val. You know what I mean? Because like I'm saying, like I would need to watch it again. This is
Look,
what I'm talking about, watching it in the moment and in the building. And, you miss some things, you don't see some other things or
I
whatever.
will tell you this.
It was an incredibly close fight. And I literally was mostly like, holy, like there were so many holy crap moments for both women, you know what I mean, of like close calls and this and that, and like to me I was just so excited about how high level this was and how excited, and like we were saying with
it was
Lucy,
amazing.
like, Alexa's composure, Valentina's always had it, right, but her opponents haven't necessarily always had it. So to see her opponent and to see the champ with such composure and to be not worried and this and that was really great. And I feel like that actually feeds into her argument of like, yeah, I did retain because I am still the champ. I was never, it wasn't close to being done for me and this and that. It just sucks because it was so close. They're both just so high level. I'm okay with the draw too. I think 10-8 was wrong, but I'm okay with a draw.
Yeah, 10-8 was wrong. That's not even a question. That's not even a fucking question. Okay, but we're talking about the overall outcome. And
I'm okay with a draw.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, okay, I don't know the answer to this. What was the significant strike count?
I meant here. Let me grab my notes right here because I think I wrote that down on my notes after.
Because this would be interesting to me.
Hold on here. Yeah, wait. I got it right here. You can still hear me, I believe. Okay, so here's the thing. I keep, and it's great. One day when I have the KB museum, so I keep, like my scripts and.
Wait, did you used to have a toy store at one point?
Toy store? No.
No, you had nothing to do with KB Troy.
No, I should do. So here's the thing. So I have like my notes.
You should do a sex choice. You should do a sex choice and call it KB Choi.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
If they're like, well, never mind. I was gonna. Never mind.
No, don't do it. Don't you fucking do it.
I'm not gonna do. Well, this is my note. This is the post show. If you guys want to know what the post show looks like, this is
Oh,
me
let me
scribbling
see.
down the
I
post
can't
show.
fucking hear any of that
I
because
know. Well, here's
I
me
can't
writing.
see.
Here's the intro when we go, and then this is what happens when we do the main event card, and then there's the prelims, and when we do this. But this is how many. This is what I have all my, and so I'm keep these. This is like I have all the ones from. These are all the post shows. Everybody thinks I read prompter. I don't.
Where do you hide all your love
these
letters
down,
about your
this
Uncle
is the script for
Hanach?
the post show. There's no script.
Where do you hide your memoirs about your Uncle Hanach? Today, the year of our Lord,
In the year of our Lord Renato.
1923.
Wait. Okay.
He
So
was
there was.
solely trash.
Oh, this is the. Oh, that's the wrong one. This is the wrong notes. This is the Cyril Gone notes. Anyway, I have it though. But yeah, the significant strike thing. It was.
Because here's why I asked this. Because I will give you this. When it comes to in the fight, when it comes to like landing jabs, I feel like Valentina did a very good job of that, of finding those jabs. Okay. I feel like aside from the one elbow that caused the cut on, I almost said Lupe, on Grasso, I feel like the hard, almost like, she's like the damaging shots, like the ones that was like, oh, someone's gonna, feeling those shots, was landed by Grasso, in my opinion.
Well, to see Valentina sent backwards to the canvas rolling over was very.
Even aside from that, though, when she was getting hit, even when she was hit with a jab, sometime it was like,
well, put it this way, though.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like the harder shots.
I agree they were strong.
So
she's.
You know what I'm saying to you? I mean, so my whole point is, this whole shit was open to interpretation. That's my point.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's fair.
It's what do you value more? The points of you got touched with the jab, and maybe it looks shitty because she's bleeding because of that one elbow, or who actually was hurt to the point of, they might be in trouble, which I never felt like Grasso got hit and I thought, she's in trouble. The one time I thought she was in trouble was when she was the first round, the end of the first round, the back, or when did the back get shaken?
Well, a couple times, by whom? Because there were
by
3 and 4,
Valentina.
Valentina was really threatening to finish the fight.
Yeah, from that aspect, that was when I was worried about Grasso. Aside from that, in the striking, I never thought she got hit with something where I went, But when she would hit Valentina, I was like, wow, damn. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's tricky.
But this is my perspective. Everybody have their own perspective. This is mine.
It's tricky because here VT saying, yeah, to me that means Val should have won, because if we agree it wasn't a 10-8 and there were 3 scorecards, and that was the whole thing, is that if
I understand. Wait, hold on.
10-9,
I understand that.
Valentina winning the fight.
Understand that, and this is where I would disagree, because I think the fucking 10-8 wasn't high, but I don't necessarily think the other fucking cards was high either.
Gotcha.
In the other direction. So that's my point.
To me, it was honestly, as I'm watching it, I was just like, I don't know.
Me neither. I thought it was a toss-up. That's what I said.
But again, like I said, we were debating it, and so then we were all like, I think maybe Val 3-2, but like as it was going into the 5th,
why did you think that though? Why? What did she do that made you think that?
Like I said, it was all about round 1, right? It was like it kind of, once the round started progressing, it's weird, right? Because you sort of forget, obviously, the first round was quite competitive and stuff. But
it was.
At first, I think I thought maybe Alexa was winning round 1. And then, I don't know. As it went along, though, I'm there with Anthony and stuff, and we're just like, is it 2-2? Like going into 5? You know what I mean? Like we did think when it came to the 5th round that there was basically everything to play for. Because
I'll tell you what.
It seemed to be up in the air, and like, whoever wins the 5th round, I think I was kind of thinking, okay, whoever wins here.
And then that became a tough one. That became tough because some weird shit happened in that one too. So it's like, for anyone to say someone got hobbed, that's
Nah.
that's hyperbole. You know what I mean? I can't agree. It's like, I don't think people should be up in arms about this one. I understand the unfortunate part is the Michael Bell of it all. That's the only unfortunate part. But the outcome should not surprise anybody, And what the fuck was I gonna say before? I'll think about it later.
Well, one thing I was going to say that was interesting is hold on was the fact that we also, on a night that we had a draw in a title fight, we also had the no decision, because there was the Lacerda fight where Chris Toyoni, the referee, said that Lacerda so there was the standing guillotine or whatever, and
Yeah,
he
I
said he was
remember.
submitted, and so because Lacerda's arm had kind of dropped down, and
That
so
was a
then
tough one. That was a tough
he
one because as a jiu-jitsu player, I understand completely the point that what's his name?
the ref
No,
Toyoni
Cruz.
Dominic
Dominic Cruz's point
about being limped
about
the
first of all, what I loved about his point was it's not my fucking job to sit there having to advertise to you that I'm okay.
yeah
I
right
love that. I love that. But at the same fucking time, I, it is a little strange to have someone go like this. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like I don't. I
But what's
I
tough
see
is that
I see a world in which both people is high. You know what I mean?
right.
Like I lean towards the fighter and the height to compete and the height to not have the thing stop. And I don't believe the guy was out. All that shit. But at the same time, I mean, the way that he went, like from here to this, I'm not shocked that a half would think that you was fucking out. You know what I mean? So this wasn't as cut and dry and as much of a fuck. Chioni is inept at his job. It wasn't as black and white that I think people was making it. Even though I feel for the fighter, and I lean towards what the professional fighters were saying, DC and Cruz. So I understand that. I'm more on their side, but I'm like, to play devil advocate. I see why he thought that. You know what I mean? I mean, it was
Yes,
dramatic the way his arm fell like that. It was dramatic.
it was dramatic, and the thing is, you're right. Sometimes I worry when I see people going like thumbs up or things to the ref, and like too much talking to the ref about their condition, and instead of fighting off the choke or
Sure,
whatever that's
sure,
happening.
sure,
And so
sure.
on the one hand, I think, yeah, like the ref needs to be well versed enough, and he was right there in it, like he was looking right at. But here's the thing: you do hear, and obviously you're the jiu-jitsu guy, but you hear people, you know, uh, sometimes discussing, well, okay, I don't want to. I'm fighting, but while I'm fighting, I might actually slack up a little bit while I'm fighting.
True, true.
As a whatever. And so I get that. And so yes, I understand that it looked very dramatic to have the hand fall. But you could say, well, maybe the ref should have, felt the hand. Is
I
it dead or
agree, and
not?
I
I don't.
think and I think that's what he should have did.
Yeah.
So I'm 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 almost a I'm almost 100% on the side of DC and Dominic Cruz on this one. But I was just leaving a little bit of myself to go to not make the guy into a monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like,
But
or
look,
just
he's
a
not a
a
monster because he
dumb.
admitted he was wrong. Like, that's
Yeah.
a huge
And
thing.
and and but here's another thing. I'm not opposed to. They had another great point was, okay, so this fucking guy admits he made a mistake,
Hmm.
but so what? You still fucked up half my money and
For sure.
half my team's money. So where I can see that I'm gonna give some leeway to the guy, well, he don't need to lose his job. But just like fighters get penalized for missing weight,
Hmm.
for accidentally kicking someone in the nuts and having a no contest, or poking someone in the eyes, or any of that kind of shit, there should be financial repercussions for fuck ups like that.
They're sat down. They get a timeout from judging
Fuck
for
a
a while.
timeout.
So they take a refresher course.
Fuck a timeout. I think that if you're gonna have a sport,
I don't know if you
where,
can say financially penalize them though,
well,
because
look,
that's
the
like
athletes.
now we're getting into like, oh, can somebody be penalized because you thought they didn't do their job well that day, like financially?
Well,
like dock
but
their
think
pay?
about
Like,
this.
I don't know about
Think
that.
about this. That's what's happening to these fighters. Okay.
No, I get it. They're losing money out of their wallets by a bad decision that this judge made. I get that.
Unlike the fighter, the referee works every fucking show in town. Okay, they work in the small shows, the big shows. They're working a lot. You understand? Now they're not making the same kind of money, but these fucking fighters only get a chance to do this on average every 3 months if they're lucky. You understand? And there's a lot of people depending on not only their family and all that, but their whole fucking team is depending on percentages of the fucking money that they make. So there's a lot of repercussions for a loss that's not deserved. You understand?
100%.
So for it to be like c'est la vie when the fucking half make a mistake, but when a fighter make a mistake, like missing weight or kicking someone in the balls or whatever, or kicking down the opponent or whatever, they get half their fucking money, or 75%, whatever, the money check-in. This is unfair. This is unfair.
No, I agree. And what also sucked, well, and why this one was also especially so tense, is because Lacerda, hasn't gotten a win yet in the UFC, and he's really exciting. And his last fight was like really exciting, and he looked like he was winning, and then fortune changed and he lost, right? And so this kid knows he's got his back up against the wall. Yeah. And so he's like, look, if I'm gonna go out, like I really want to lose. Yeah. Like I don't want to lose on this BS from the referee. Yeah. And so that's why also this one has like even more to it, because the kid's back was up.
I fucking agree. Hard. And another ingredient in this, which I 100% agree with, and I think it should be mandatory, is I've always wondered about this. How can you have people judging or judging who are not stone cold experts in what they're looking at? Yeah. So a great point that, and I don't always agree with Dominic Cruz, okay? But every fucking thing he said there, I agreed with. And what he was saying is, if you know that choke, you know that the position was not done. Right. The position was in, usually wouldn't garner that kind of a reaction, at least not that quick. So it's like, it hicks of him not understanding, like, cold that position. You know what I mean? Like the ins and outs of that position. So it's like, what I don't understand is like, you wouldn't have the Iron Chef being judged by people who've never, like, you wouldn't have an Italian cooking competition being judged by someone who is a sushi chef.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Specialty. Right.
So in that sense, I think we've come a long way.
But it's tough because the flip side of that is like, and I do agree that, we could get more former fighters and more former fighters and that kind of thing as judges and refs. But then, then there are the personal allegiances. And so even though maybe I've been out of the game a while, but I was a former fighter, and this guy's from my gym, or this guy's from my rival gym. And,
I don't say,
can I completely be neutral? I don't know, but at least fighters would be more well-versed in knowing what's really a precarious position and what's not, and that kind of stuff.
Well, first of all, I don't know that Chayoni wasn't a pro fighter. He probably was. He looked like a pro fighter to me, okay? Herb Dean was a pro fighter. A lot of people don't even know that. A lot of these guys was pro fighter. However, just being a pro fighter don't mean that you know shit about jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? And I think it's incumbent upon a fucking referee who has that much power. You have to have the knowledge. You can't. This is not a game. And I think that our sports have come a long way since 92 or 93, okay? But in this sense, this is where we're still in the dark ages.
Yeah, it's
We
hard.
still in terms of having and judging, we still somewhat in the dark age. That aspect have not gotten up to snuff the same place as the technique is.
Yeah,
And one
that's
day
true.
we're gonna look back and go, how could these guys have going through this?
Yeah, no, it
You
sucks, and
know.
I feel bad for.
Ah, again, what do we got here? Well, let's see how long it's gonna take to come back.
Wait,
Yeah.
that's what I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. It's like my computer is extra touchy today. I hit one button, and the next thing you know, I'm out of the thing. I'm sorry. But I
Well,
do
you
feel
know,
very bad for people who, yeah, are on the receiving end of these like really
it
dicey
couldn't be
calls. And
worse. When you
the
have
thing that
when you know
sucks is
people,
we know and we'll talk about it, and we know there's like an asterisk or a weird thing with their win, but still the record is
it
what
don't
the record
matter.
is. And like you said,
Yeah,
people's lives and fortunes are at play. It
when you
sucks.
know the people personally and you know their story and you know about their mortgage or you know about their
Yeah.
children or you know about their health concerns or their family's health and all this shit and you seen them work through the camp and then you see something like that happen,
Yeah.
it's almost like a you watch it's like a tragedy is happening when you see a fucked up decision
Yeah.
because you're like,
I agree.
you know what I mean, like you know the ramification. But for the fucking half of the judge, on to the next. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
How can you
It's
have
really tough.
how can you have people mingling in the same situation where one person is like life and death, and for the other, I mean, literally,
Literally. Well,
they you know, and then the other person is like, meh. I mean,
eh,
to have the stakes not line up, it to me that don't make sense.
well, like I
It's
said,
unfair.
Mike Bell did acknowledge.
I'm not
Mike
even
Bell
talking about my
acknowledged he messed up with the
yeah,
10-8, and
sure,
Toyoni literally said, and I retweeted it because
sure, but then
RJ
what?
today, my stage manager who also works on Sirius, he tweeted it out, the video of it, and so I retweeted it. But like you literally, they didn't have the audio up, but you literally see Chris Toyoni talking with the fighters, and he's like, "I was wrong." He literally says those
And
words,
that
which
is
is amazing.
fantastic. That
Yeah,
is better than the alternative. But at the end of the day, what do that have to do with the price of chi in China?
right, right.
It's not gonna
Well,
change shit.
no, but in this case, at least it was a no decision. So I'm sure, I feel like we were like, okay, why don't they just re-rack it and have them fight again this weekend or
Okay,
something like.
but tell me what was the verdict with the money? Well, what happens
Oh,
now?
on the money part, I don't know. But since it
But
was a
that's
no,
what I'm
I mean,
saying. That but that's
at least they
everything.
both get their show money. Probably they
Yeah, but
both get their show money. Probably
for
neither
the
of them gets win
fighters,
money
that's
because
what I'm
neither.
saying.
It does suck, but here's the thing. I think they're gonna
So
probably
both
just keep the
fighters,
fight intact,
I
and then
understand
just
that's
make them
fine.
fight again. Like we were saying, like, okay, just push them to this weekend. I know you don't
Okay,
want to
that's
cut weight
fine. But
twice in 2 weeks, but
imagine from both sides, okay? You imagine you're the wife of either of those fighters.
yeah,
From the guy who won, you're gonna say to yourself, well, if you let it fucking go and you keep it going for a little bit, then my guy would have won both his fucking show and his win, and we would have double our fucking money in our bank. You know what I mean? No,
but
hold on.
even the
Oh,
kid who won knows it wasn't real.
no, no, no. But I'm saying, but here's a way to think about this. If he hadn't stopped it when he did, the kid, there's nothing to say that he wouldn't have legitimately finished
Really
him
choked
there.
him. Okay, yeah,
So what you're doing is you stopping a guy mid fucking somebody up, okay, and taking away his win money. But at the same time, in doing that, you're also taking away a guy's ability to get out of that thing and then earn his win money.
but see, I disagree because initially, with Toyoni saying it's a sub, he gave the other kid his win money. Like he did actually give the other guy the win money, and then
But
they
because he
realized he
fucked
messed
up,
up.
but because he fucked up, if he did stole both of their opportunity
Yeah,
to get that win money,
yeah,
and which will never be he covered.
right. Until like I said, I feel like they
Yeah,
probably
but
are
that's
just
a
going to keep
whole
that
nother fight.
intact and make them run it
But
back.
that's a whole nother fight that you got to earn from scratch again,
For
and
sure,
that's not
I agree.
fair.
And it's going to be different. And yeah, what you were already doing in
Not
that
fair.
round is
If
gone.
you
I get
if
it.
you're the wife of that fucking guy who sits there and has to like deal with the life of living with a fighter and just
Right.
going, I hope this shit works out, and then
Yeah.
you see some shit like that happen, you gotta be tearing your fucking hair out.
Yeah.
It's like a tragedy. It's like losing half your money.
Yeah. I
Especially for
get
these
it. It's,
low level people. For these low level guys, this is everything.
I get it.
Imagine the difference between $75,000 and $150,000. I mean, when you don't have shit,
yeah,
you know
no,
what I
I
mean?
agree. Listen. And like I said, this one was especially sensitive because of the position Lacerda's in,
Yeah,
really desperately needing a
it's fucked
win.
up.
And like
Yeah,
to him, yeah, I felt really bad for him that if like at first before they realized there was a mess up and before they called it off and said I
yeah.
messed up or whatever, but it was like this kid's, because like as soon as it's waved off, he's like, well, what the hell is that? And we do know that sometimes
May I
people get choked
suggest
out, and as
something?
soon as you release the choke, they wake back up. And so it's like sometimes
May I
you really
suggest
are
something?
actually choked out. But
May I suggest something? I think that could be a great idea. Is okay. So in boxing, okay, when you have a knockdown,
Mhm.
when you get up from the couch, there's a criteria. The guy says, "Walk towards me."
Yeah,
Okay. Then if he's not quite sure, he goes, like come at me from this side, this way.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like he tests him like this way and this way on the
yeah,
both axes. Then when he thinks, okay, I think he's okay, he checks his hands. Okay, he checks.
yeah.
He sees if there's any give there. You know what I mean? Like the guy is still in the mix.
Right.
I would suggest that in the midst, without making the guy stop the submission, you should there should be some kind of thing where you check his arm,
You know,
and
he
then
should have checked his arm to see if it really did.
then you verbally say, there should be in the who's meeting, I'm gonna say to you, are you awake, are you lucid, or can you hear me? You have to be able to say something from the fucked up position, from the submission, go,
Mhm.
I'm good, or now don't worry about me, whatever the fuck is the worst, or a cold word, some snake bite, whatever the fuck it is. Because there's too much willy-nilly shit happening here. It's too loosey-goosey.
But
And the
that's why you
stakes
do
is
see
too
a lot
fucking
of people
high.
trying to give a thumbs up when
That's
you're in a
fi-
sub that looks
that's
dicey
fine.
because
That's
they're
fine.
like, hey, don't stop it yet.
That's fine. But I think there should be something aside from the proactive thing of the fighter having to do that. I feel
That the
like
ref has certain steps
the half
he
should
has
have
to
to
go
have
through.
something like that where they go, hey, listen, are you responsive here? There should be like, okay, are you good? And can
Well,
you
do see
verbally
that
tell me,
sometimes.
do you want to still fight? They go like this.
Yeah.
Sometimes they tell a person, do you still want to fight? Yes. Okay,
Right.
I mean, boom. And then we know for sure. Because then if you have that and the guy don't say shit, you go, well, I gave him every opportunity to tell me he was okay. He didn't say shit. And then
Right.
you don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? There have to be something
Yeah, I
like
agree. I
this.
agree. I do think there is something, and like you do see sometimes certain refs will, they'll pick up a limb and see if,
Yeah.
like you said, if there's
Listen,
resistance or there's
can I tell
something.
you this? When I'm hauling with somebody, okay, and I have them in a submission, I usually am not gonna do this in a choke because the worst thing gonna happen, you're gonna go out. Okay. Oh, you okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the worst thing normally in a choke is that you're gonna go out. And I don't think of that as a big deal. I've never seen somebody die from a choke. It's usually the worst case scenario. They go out a little bit and they loopy for a minute. Okay. But when I have someone in a devastating submission and I see they don't understand, I'm talking about something that's like gonna injure them, not a choke, but like a joint thing or
Where they don't even know, like if I go any further, you're
one
like,
of the best example of this is there's a sweep and a submission called the electric chair. Okay, and I'm very adept at that one. And a lot of people use it as a sweep because they can't get the finish of the actual submission. But the submission is very violent when it come on quick. When it come on, you feel tension and you feel like you're okay. Like you're just doing a splits, and then it's all over for you. Whether you're gonna tear your groin or you're gonna blow out your fucking knee. Okay. So when I'm doing that one to somebody, I will act as a referee, even in training. I will go, "You okay? Are you okay?
because you're about to get.
Hey, are you okay? You good? You cool. You cool. I'm asked them 10 fucking times. And even sometime I'll let it the fuck go because I go, this guy don't know what's happening here. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it to do this to the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Now, so if I can do that in training, there have to be some kind of way that you can do it in the middle of a fight. You could just ask the guy, plain up English or whatever fucking language he says, you okay? You okay? You okay?
Yeah.
Can I get some kind of response from you? And if not, it's over.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Communication.
Judging and reffing is a thing that I feel like we're never all gonna come to a point where everybody's content with.
I couldn't see someone arguing with that
no, but that's
thing
fair.
that I just said.
Yeah, I feel like there are certain protocols they're supposed to go through, and like I said, maybe not, or maybe it's some of the refs.
Well, and it's not Troiani. It's not Troiani's fault that that's not in place. But I think put that in place. It would help everybody. It would help the half not having to take all this grief over this shit, and then also the fighters. So there's no confusion here. And then also in terms of the judging, which is a different point. I tell you what, a former guest of ours, Tyson Chidi, on his fucking IG, he had this whole criteria that he was proposing, and it was mwah, and I would vote for that 100%. It would change everything. And the thing is that you got to get rid of the 10-point must system. You have to get rid of that. You have to.
Yeah.
And the way his criteria was based on points that you earn, not shit that if the round is a draw, you don't get a fucking point for that. You're not. And
scored as a draw.
The way he had it, it was. I couldn't find one way that I could argue with it. It was great. Anybody go to Tyson Chidi of the New England cartel fame, go to his IG after this and look up his proposal there. I love it.
Cool. Hey, well, with that in mind, we have a Chidi's choice for this weekend. Heading back out to Vegas, a quick turnaround for Rafael Fiziev versus Mateusz Gamrot. Yeah, so we know Fiziev had that fight with Justin Gaethje last time. Didn't go his way, but Fiziev is really, really tough. Gamrot is coming off the win over Jalen Turner.
Two dogs. I mean, this is dog.
This really is going to be these guys.
You know what this is? This is a war of attrition. This is not going to even be a technique thing. It's going to be whose will is going to beat the other guy's will.
Yeah, I'm just excited. Well, before you joined, somebody was like, "Do you see this as striker versus grappler?" I'm like, "No, I just see this as like two tough." Really badass guys, number 6 versus number 7.
This is Junkyard Dog versus Junkyard Dog.
Yeah,
and
so here we go. Here's Chidi's take, though, on this weekend.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Chidi's Choice. Today, the Fistivities bearded dragon mascot is choosing the UFC Vegas 79 main event between Rafael Fiziev and Mateusz Gamrot. What we do is we put Chidi down in front of a couple of piles of arugula, but first, we take the names and we randomize them. Whoops, kind of hard today, Karyn. Let's go. Here we go. We're going to randomize these.
Randomize that one.
Here. Yeah. We're going to put one here.
Would it kill you to put some balsamic vinaigrette?
All right. Chidi has gone over to the right once again. It is kind of where he tends to go more often than not, but you never know. Chidi believes that Mateusz Gamrot will pick up the win. We shall see.
It's funny.
I like Gamrot.
I do too. I like him a lot. And you know what? I probably, if it gun to my head, I would have said the same thing. Oh.
Yeah.
I would have said the same thing. I think Gamrot is on the highs.
I think too. He's a hard worker, and another thing, and I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes, as we know, right? Like sometimes we're rooting for the people that have been here, or rooting for the whatever. Like literally, so Gamrot, one of his on the last, it wasn't the Jalen Turner one, but it was one a couple fights ago, and Chidi had picked against him. But it was funny. So he won the fight, and he comes to the desk, and he's like on the post show, and like before we're getting started. But he even said he even said it to me at the desk before we went on, or like after when I saw him somewhere. He's like, "Oh, I see the lizard. The lizard did pick against me, or whatever."
He knows about
he
that,
saw it, and he was like, "The lizard picked against me," but whatever. And I was like,
"What?
Oh.
He knows about fucking Chidi."
So this time I got to make sure I send it to him. on IG or whatever and be like, "Yo, this time the lizard picked you," because it was funny because he thought it was really cute. He was like, "Oh, the little
That's
lizard didn't pick me,"
great.
but whatever.
Wait,
Yeah.
how come he don't come on the show then? Why bring him on the fucking show?
I mean, that's a good idea. It's well because he's in Poland, I think, most of the time, and the
So
time
what?
difference and that kind of stuff.
Poland is one of our biggest markets.
Dude, I know. Since Jan was on, for folks who don't know, we had the Jan Blachowicz episode is
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
He was on with us not too long ago, but yeah. So I'm a Gamrot girl. I like him, and I
like
I
Gamrot.
got nothing against Fiziv, and I like Fiziv is like a tank, and with his Phuket Muay Thai, Tiger Muay Thai, like he's a tank for sure. But Gamrot, there's something about him that I love. Like he wears Coke bottle glasses otherwise when he's not fighting.
Look,
which always
he's a killer.
is weird to me because I'm always like, how do you even feel like the range and the like? What's it like fighting when you in real life need these?
I would. He probably have the same problem I have. I see crystal clear close up. It's far away that I have a problem with. So anything that's that close to me, I'm fine. And so he's probably fine.
Maybe since he
and
fights
for
at a
grappling.
range. Yeah.
For grappling, I will tell you this: one of the funniest things ever happened to me was this guy came one time at a gym I was training at who was blind, okay? And this guy was like a brown belt or something like that, and he was fucking good.
Yeah.
And I started to realize, oh yeah, because it's such a tactile game.
For sure.
He don't need to see shit. He's feeling that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Funny
and they say
enough,
when one sense is removed, the others get heightened, right? So.
Oh God! Yeah, that's why he was. No, I'm kidding.
That's why you like the blindfolded.
But somehow, this fucking guy knew. Nobody told him that he was holding with Uncle Henach, and somehow it fucking made me. I was dying laughing after he was done. He said something, letting him know that he knew. He said a Henatoism or something like that. And I said, "How the fuck did you?" And he said, So he was just so. Cool. It was pretty crazy. I was in shock. I was like,
that's pretty cool. Well, I want that somebody knew who you were.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing that you turned such a positive story about the handicap community into a joke for your own pleasure. Great.
I just want to see. Well, Joe Bose is saying yes, it is a big one because it's number 6 versus number 7. Like we said, it's Fiziv is number 6, Gamrot is number 7 currently. So it is an important fight in the lightweight division for sure, because obviously we know next month Oliveira and Makhachev are running it back.
I hope
Charles Oliveira gets it this time. I'm a big Charles Oliveira fan, but nothing against Islam, but I really do like Charles. I've always been a fan.
Oh, you got nothing against Islam, huh?
I don't, not at all. He's very good. But listen, that's what I'm saying. Like when you got guys like Gamrot who beats somebody like Sarukian who's so good and all this stuff.
Sarukian. That was a fun fight to watch. I don't know who won that. I can't say that it was Gamrot. I don't know.
That was the one where Chidi picked Sarukian, I think.
Yeah, and so I tell you what, that one's one of those ones that I can't say for sure who won that one. You know, that was a fucking barn burner. Yeah, I'll tell you what, as a grappler, that was very enjoyable to me. That was one of the most. Sure. I think some people maybe not understanding how incredible that one was. Mm-hmm. He reminded me of a long time ago. I think it was Nick Diaz versus Diego Sanch.
Oh, okay.
And the fucking jiu-jitsu and the scrambles and the positions that kept on going around. I was like, wow. And I was going, boy, the average person has no idea what they're being treated to right now. You know what I mean?
But so here's the thing. At the beginning of the show, somebody was saying like, oh, do you just see the main event as striker versus grappler? And I don't, though, because I feel like Gamrot is more well-rounded than just being a grappler. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so to me, it doesn't look. It maybe at their roots, but I feel like both he and Fiziv are both just so good everywhere. Like, they're just
look. There's no fucking Russian fighter. There's no Russian fighter in modern MMA that don't have like some kind of serious fucking grappling skills. Okay. However. Yeah, I mean, Gamrot might have a fucking, he might have an invention there, you know. But,
all right, I wanted to make sure I got to this right away. Phaser with a donation of $9.99 asking for advice, saying my girlfriend and I will be attending a work function soon. Her job will provide a hotel. Is it acceptable to hang out at the bar and try to flirt with females to possibly join us at our room later?
Okay. So the question for me is this: is there gonna be other people from your job at the fucking hotel that could be witnessing this here?
Well,
And
there's more
how
to it.
discreet? Oh, okay, go
Well,
ahead.
first and foremost, we're under the understanding that Phaser and his girl are both in agreement that they want the
Yeah,
third
that
person,
that
right?
for
First
me
and foremost, that's
for me that's clear. I don't think he was saying like, "How am I going to get my girlfriend to do
right.
it?" I think they're worried about professionalism.
Right. Will be tending a work function. Her job will provide a hotel. Is acceptable to hang at the bar and try to buy. Yeah. Well, you
They
don't
don't
want
want
to
to
ask
fuck her
somebody, like you
money
said,
up.
you don't want to ask somebody that they work with because that could get very awkward, right?
Yeah, I think okay. I think that you have to split the difference here. I think I would say that you have to be. You can do what you want to do here, but you got to be very discreet. And I would guard against that. Here's what I would guard against. Don't be partying too fucking much before her day of work or whatever have to happen. Save that shit for like the work thing that she's there for is done.
Yeah.
Then let your hair down. You know what I mean? And just don't be a fucking asshole and don't be like wild at the bar and being, don't have her grabbing you joint and don't be vaping like you had
Like
Beetlejuice
Bobert,
the
you don't
like you had
embarrass
Beetlejuice the musical.
because that's the thing. Even at a work function, when people are quote
Yeah.
unquote getting loose, it is still work. Here's my policy. I
Mm.
tend not to fish off the company pier because it's too dicey and stuff. And so I don't know what kind of position, your girl's in
Well,
at
hold
work
on
or
now.
what.
But also, I don't think he's saying he's trying to get the girls that's at there for the work function.
Right.
He's just saying like
In general.
they footing the bill for the fucking hotel, and they there ultimately for work, and he's being facilitated by work, and then he's like, is it a bad look to be like now trying to like, yeah, we're gonna get our other needs met here, you know?
I would just say it's a bad look anywhere to go anywhere and be that thirsty or that hard up or whatever. So yeah, like you said, go have some discretion if you're subtly asking about it. But yeah, like
Yeah, be
maybe try to
heel
line it
fucking
up for
subtle.
after the work stuff.
Be heel fucking subtle. That's what I would suggest. Don't come off looking like you letting your fucking hair down and and also act like you've been there before. Don't act like, yeah, we got a free fucking hotel. It's time to fucking party. Act like you've been there. Have some fucking class or whatever. But there's a slick way. There's a smooth way. You're not at a swingers party, okay? But there's a smoother way to do things, to do stuff. Just like there's a smooth way to hit on girls without looking like a fucking scumbag if you was by yourself. Have some chaste and decorum about,
How do you
hitting
hit on
on.
a girl without looking like? What's your?
Well, first of
How,
all, don't get too fucking drunk because
yeah, true, true.
we tend to all say get a little too familiar with people in general when you fucked up. You're more apt to make some mistakes when you're too fucked up.
Uh-huh.
So in general, don't get fucked up on the company's dime,
Yeah,
you know
don't
what I
get
mean,
too.
in
Yeah,
public, in
that's
front
in
of
general smart policy. Don't
in
get too
your
hammered at a
home
work
is
thing.
one thing, as long as you're not getting kicked out for no dumb shit or whatever,
Yeah,
you
but don't
know?
get hammered at a work thing. That's a bad look.
Yeah, you don't want it to be like what was it
It's a
in
bad
Best
look.
in Show where they said that they had a heavy metal band in there and they hosted a whole gulch and
Yes,
they still couldn't get that smell of
the smell of
of charcoal and
charred,
cumin,
charred, charred
charcoal and cumin out of the
humans.
fucking curtains or whatever. Okay,
Oh, I love
but
Best in Show
so
too.
you just have to have some. Don't get cocky.
Yeah, like you said, act
Don't
like
get
you've been there
sloppy.
before. Act like it's not
Yeah,
your first hotel room. It's not your
yeah.
first night out. But in
And
general, I don't even know. Like, once we got past that part, like the approaching for the third person thing, like I don't even know what kind of people are like
I think
receptive to that.
people.
Like, I don't even know. Like,
I think people who are in that community have an extra radar for people who. Okay, there's gaydar
there's swinger
or
dar.
I think so, and I think how
Maybe
sometimes
there
like
is.
how that sometimes a white person couldn't tell that someone is mixed black, but any black person is like, no, I could tell immediately.
Duh.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
I think there's a certain hadar you have that these people have where it's like, I think we got a live one here.
Maybe.
But you
Well-
just have to be a little careful about it. You can't just, that's all. I think. And I think if at all questioning it, a little bit of pussy and having some fun is not worth you girl losing her job. So
True.
if worst case scenario, just wait, just wait till you get back, But if there's a way to do it, just be smooth, have a little
Be
bit of
smooth,
class
and yeah,
about it.
but again,
And no amount of goofing around is worth losing your fucking job, a good job
and
over.
phaser, and no amount of that too also is worth maybe, or maybe it is. I don't know what your girl's like, but like also you don't want to do something that puts the relationship you have in.
Yeah, but it sounds to me like this is not their first
Yeah, it sounds
rodeo.
like.
Okay, and another option is listen, get cuckolded, wait and get cuckolded by your uncle Hanach.
They wanted
You know,
another girl. They didn't want another dude. He
I
wasn't
understand
looking for
that,
another
but
dude.
I'm not just any dude or whatever. So if you want to be cuckolded by your uncle Hanach and you just sit there and have me and your girl hate you, and her be like, he never does this to me. Look, he's a wimp, and I'm like, oh, what a fucking wimp. Come here to you, Uncle Hanachi.
Hey, I want to just bring something back because you said the word familiar, and I talked about it last week, but I didn't get to talk about it with you because I talked about it at the beginning of the show. But I watched Renfield on the way home from Paris.
How was that?
Have you seen Renfield?
Not yet. No, it's good.
Hilarious.
It looks fun. It looks fun.
It's Nicolas Cage as Dracula.
As Dracula,
and what's his face?
As Henfield, the kid. I forgot his fucking name, but yeah.
Nicholas Holt as his familiar.
No, it looks good.
The
It
word
looks funny.
familiar made me think of it. But
listen,
I talked about it last week. I was legit like laughing out loud on the plane.
I'm glad to hear that.
Freaking fantastic.
Look,
I'm a fan anyway.
He usually
gets to chew the scenery, and when you give Nick Cage something that he can lean into like that, and it's expected and like supposed to be there, nobody does it better than him.
That's my favorite kind of Nick Cage. Is that version? I don't need to see the action movies and none of that horse shit.
No, I like
the weird stuffs. The weird him being a weird character is my shit. Yeah,
I was howling. There were some parts that were so funny. So again, I was just talking about last week, but Renfield was great.
I don't doubt it. I thought about Henfield. I was not going to see that in the theater. So I'm just waiting to see it in, and now that you said that, I'm gonna seek it out because I thought that was gonna be fun.
I also love Awkwafina. So like everybody in it.
Awkwafina.
You know what I mean?
The Chinese girl or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's very, very funny. So I don't know. That kind of gets me into this. I know we can wrap it up soon, but have you seen anything good lately? I don't know what you've been watching. Like I'm sure what's.
Well, I told you this. I just I did the entire going back through Eastbound and Down, and I was not disappointed. So I'm still
cutting in.
I'm still buzzing off of that experience.
I need to do it. I've done it in like bits and pieces to hear like
I haven't did it since
Black Betty, bam, lamb,
I haven't did it since I watched them when they first came out. Okay, so I waited long enough and I watched. I can't even talk about Stevie.
Like I can't. Stevie is one of the greatest characters ever.
He's so good that you think he's like that.
I feel like he's really that guy.
And to be honest, he's not. It's great when you see him in an interview. He's kind of shy and shit, but he's not. He's clearly just this great improv actor. He's great.
To me, that's a real person. Like that.
Exactly.
That's
why
real person.
He's
one of the best for that matter, because a million guys.
We already know he's incredible, but Stevie is the unsung special sauce of that fucking shit. Look, of course, the main course is Danny McBride, but Stevie is so fucking important to that show. Every time he comes on, you're like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yes, you know what I mean? Yeah, I can breathe again.
I love him.
He's fucking incredible.
Go back and watch that.
I'm telling you what, you won't be disappointed.
No, because I did start it over at one point.
The whole journey.
I didn't stay consistent because I started over instead. The Larry Sanders Show, which we were saying, like how I was talking about how I like to watch TV shows about TV shows. Larry Sanders Show is phenomenal.
Larry
And
Sanders
so-
Show is also one of I have it right here on fucking DVD.
Yeah.
I love the Larry Sanders, but Eastbound and Down, it was just as funny, if not funnier, this time around. And I was like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh my god, I forgot about that. And just also because some of the shit that was done, even though it wasn't that long ago, what are we
Yeah.
talking about? 2009 to 13? That's over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Some of the norms and decorum have changed to the point where they was doing shit that you probably couldn't do now.
Yeah,
So
no, it's-
some of the shit you go like this, you go, wow, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and you just like, your hats off to these fucking people.
So good. Well, did you
And
watch
it's
Righteous
genius.
Gemstones last season?
Okay, so whatever is the most recent Righteous Gemstones, I have not watched.
Okay, I
But
watched it all.
Up until that, I'm there. Okay, so I just haven't sat down and fuck with whatever's the latest shit.
Yeah, there was some pretty good stuff on this latest. I don't know if it's
I
like
bet.
done now or what. But I there
Baby
was some-
Bobby Billy is the Stevie of that show.
Exactly, and there's some great Uncle Baby
Baby Bobby Billy
Uncle Baby Bill.
is hands down the funniest character
Well,
on
I
that
love
show.
Walton Goggins anyway because also in Vice Principals, he's stolen in Vice
Whatever
Principals
character
too.
he's
Like,
got going on in there, too, is crazy.
He's amazing. Well, I told you with Walton Goggins, like when I met him
Oh.
on the red carpet at the Fox, like the first Fox UFC fight
Yeah.
when they had the red carpet.
Ah,
And Kenny Johnson, who's my buddy now, and I met him that night, who plays Lem on the Shield because Walton Goggins
okay,
is also on
okay.
the
He
Shield.
used to be on that. Yeah.
Amazing. And so they came down, and I was like, "You two mother effers are not walking past me. Like,
Yeah.
you're not walking
Now,
past me."
had
And-
he
and
been
Ron
in that
Perlman was
yet?
there too, and I was like, "You guys,
You're like,
are
fuck
trying
Han
to
Pro.
F
No, I'm
out,
kidding.
like,
Okay.
we need to talk," because
Yeah.
and my whole thing with Walton Goggins, I was like, "No, you don't understand. Like, The Shield is one of my favorite shows," and he was like, "Oh yeah," and he hears this all the time, and I go, "Yeah, what's up, Cletus Van Dam?" Like, this character that he used one time, he's like, "Oh shoot," he's like,
So
"Yeah,
he
you
knew
really
you
do
was
watch
really
it,"
there.
and I was like, "Yeah,
But-
bro, I really watch it."
Had he did Vice Principals yet?
No, Shield is
So,
years
like,
before.
Yeah, and I mean, I never understood
So funny.
the fascination with him until I saw Vice Principal. Because listen, I had never really seen. I wasn't a big
That
Shield watcher.
character-
It's one of those characters that you couldn't dream it up until you see it. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know you need that character until you see it. And it's such a specific person that's like supposedly straight Southern dandy
Yep.
that is like so clearly gay that
Right.
but it's just such a crazy fucking character.
Right. It's like, what's
Like,
his face? The politician who everyone's like, that's a lesbian. What's his name? Not Mitch, but the other guy that's like old and
Lindsey Graham.
Lindsay.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's like, that's a lesbian.
There's also there's a lot of politicians like that, but
Right.
there's certain these
But
Southern
you're right, that
dandies.
whole Southern dandy thing is so funny.
Like who Skip Bayless is a character like that where I go
Little
like,
bit.
what the fuck is going on with this? There's a certain kind of guy that always trips me out, like a Southern guy who's like has a family, he's straight, and then you're like, this guy is a heel dandy. This guy is
Took a real interest to the field hands out there today, didn't he?
a dandelion.
Giving some extra
Yeah.
lemonade to that one.
A lot of
man.
sugar.
Yeah.
And
Literally,
it's
so
such
this
a-
person agrees with you. Lord of the Pies, and honestly, Eastbound and Down might be the greatest show ever. Like,
It's up there.
so
Listen.
good. Well, not even just like everything about it. The titles, like they kill it with, like, it's so good.
Let's put it to you this way. It's like the conversation where you have like Michael Jordan and fucking LeBron and whoever
Right.
else you want to put in the mix.
Right.
We'll never answer whether that's the best show. It's in the fucking conversation.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like for me, like another show that I put in that category is like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Now, they're so vastly different that you can't really compare the two. But like, yeah, if you told me Curb was the best show you ever seen, comedy show you ever seen, I would say, yeah, I can't argue with you. Or if you said Eastbound and Down, I can't argue with that either. They're both fucking incredible.
Yeah, both of those shows have things like with Curb, like years later, like callback jokes and things you still think of that crack you up from episodes. That
they just
Curb was brilliant too. It
you
really
know
was.
you know how I know something is good when I get jealous that I'm not that I didn't have nothing to do with it or something. You know, when I'm like
that.
where I'm like, fuck, I wish I could get me in a part of this.
Like that, because I'm like, God.
Yeah, so like that's how I know when something is a cut above. When I go, man, like, oh God, why can't I be in there?
Watching Larry Sanders sometimes too. I'm like, son of a bitch!
Well,
like, I wish
Larry Sanders is kind of the godfather of every single camera comedy. I feel like there is no Curb Your Enthusiasm without Larry Sanders.
No, for real. Like literally,
Larry Sanders crawled or walked so fucking Curb could hunt, you know.
And for folks who don't know, you can catch Larry Sanders is on like HBO Max or whatever, but the whole concept of it was a late night talk show, and Larry's like this conceited and insecure guy, and he needs to be babied at all times, and like his stage manager guy is like all encompassed, like the amount of fluffing and protection and coddling and all the stuff for Larry, and it's such a hilarious show.
Well,
and, like,
Hank is by far my favorite character on that show.
Hank is his sideman.
Hank is the funniest fucking is one of the funniest. Like if there was a Mount Rushmore of
I love Hank.
scene stealing psychic, like Stevie, Hank. I don't know who else is in there, or maybe or Curb. It would be fucking JB Smooth, you know what I mean?
Right,
like
exactly.
These characters that you don't even know you need them until they come into your life, and then you're like, I can't live without this person here anymore.
Hank is amazing.
Hank is amazing. Is
bonkers. He's so smarmy and awful. And anyway,
and he's such a piece of shit. He's such a piece of shit. Hank is, you know who Hank he remind me of, or who he. My character who he remind me of Hank is the same dynamic happens with that piece of shit guy in Succession. I forget his name. The guy who, it's like the same dynamic. It's like to people who's more powerful than him, he's the sweetest, most ass kissy. But if you're a little bit lower than him, he'll stomp your guts. He'll stomp your brains. You know what I mean? That kind of person is for some reason so fucking funny to me. You know, like just an opportunist and a piece of shit, you know?
Right. Well, because at the end of the day, you see Hank's crippling insecurity. And so you see that all this stuff comes from him. The insecurity is what breeds the a-holeness and all this other stuff. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, when he big chimes people who it's just so fucking funny. And when he wanted to play Hercules, you know? You know, he wanted to play the Hercules, the animated voice or whatever.
Well, no, my favorite's when Hank is crowing to finally get a chance to host, and he does, and then he's like the ego. It's such a great
when he gets the
discussion
power
of the egos of Hollywood and it's brilliant. Larry Sanders show is brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I love too? It's just a little thing that's in there is that whole thing that is what made me really like the guy from X-Files, David Duchovny.
I love X-Files.
The fact that he plays himself, the fact that he plays himself, and he didn't mind being like having the gay undertones with you know, where it's like he's obsessed with Larry.
Yeah.
You know how there's this creepy thing where he wants to hang out with him, and the fact that he was secure enough to be playing himself,
right,
and doing that. Made me say, "Oh, that guy's cool." You know what I mean? This guy is like a cool fucking guy. You know, not a lot of people would do that to their own public persona. You know?
No, and there's a scene where like he opens his robe and Larry thinks that like David Duchovny's flashing him or something, right? God, such a great show, such a great show.
Incredible.
Hey, well, this is funny. People, Joe Bowles was saying Al Bundy was classic trash.
Absolutely.
You would never get a show like Married with Children to be canceled. I don't know if it'd be canceled.
Well, it just wouldn't happen.
Canceled by the left.
It wouldn't cancel.
A little bit lame to say, but
you said by the left? Yeah. I think that it don't really have to do with the left or the
Why
high.
Would the left cancel it? Yeah.
It has to do with these days. You know what I think? I'll say it. I'll make this quick. back in the day, to protest something like and people did protest. There was people who did not like what was going on at that show. There was plenty of people who did fucking thought that was, and back then it was mostly religious people,
Right.
the same kind of people who would boycott a heavy metal album or a rap album, like the Parents Against whatever. So people did do that with that and would come to the picket at Fox. They did. However, nowadays, to do that, you don't have to get off your husty dusty and go put some work in and stand there all day.
Right.
All you have to do is just voice your displeasure on your Twitter or whatever.
Right.
So nowadays, it's much easier for these mobs of people who is butthurt about any and everything to come out there and say, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that. And for every butthurt, woke liberal that is a pain in the ass, you also have the flip side where you have somebody who doesn't like that there's a gay character, or you know what I mean, or you pick Barbie should be, the movie Barbie should be boycott because it's bad for men's heights or it's too woke or whatever. Well, but take you pick whatever beef that you don't agree with sounds silly. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
So I don't have any of those beef with any of that shit. Make whatever the fuck you want. So I don't give a shit.
If anything, I don't think it would be that the left is canceling it, that the right is canceling it. It's that if anybody's canceling it, it's the advertisers going, I don't know, I'm scared to be on this thing that might be decisive, like
that's what people don't realize.
What do you call it? People might debate this, and some people might love it, and some people might hate it. And I'm a little bit afraid to be, aligned with something that's controversial. So it's the advertisers that would kill it, because I guarantee you,
that's what it is.
If you put the most foulest, whatever, quote unquote, right wing show, that would have a ton of people on it. If you put the most foulest left wing show, that would have a ton of people that would watch it. It's like advertisers that are afraid to support it, and then they won't put it on. But any show that you think the other side isn't going to like would totally get support, and like people would watch it.
And
like, we haven't all lost our taste for interesting and funny things. It's that like too many people get butthurt, they complain, and they shut it down because the networks don't want to deal with the backlash. But it's not that the stuff isn't funny and that we can't appreciate actual funny stuff.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's always the anytime I've been somebody, I've never censored myself as myself performing, but I've had companies back out of working with me. I'm not going to name any names, but I've had big companies that had interest in working with me, and then I did something for them, and then people high up said, oh, we're going to get skewered for this, or we can't do this. Can you, and basically
neuter
cut
this part, mute this.
So they was trying to neuter me, and I had to make the call to go, I can't do that. So effectively, it wasn't even the people that got to choose that. It was people not wanting to lose money. It was capitalism that said we can't. We have to shut you up here.
And that's what I'm saying. So, like, you won't see those really risque shows on network TV or whatever, but you can find them in other places. Because,
however, you know what? I was just thinking this when we were, how we should call bullshit on all this, because think about, I'll tell you 2 mainstream fucking shows that is far more fucked up, or 3 that is far more fucked up than Married with Children has ever even thought about being. One is fucking Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's great.
Okay, great fucking show.
Yeah,
they do some crazy fucking shit on there. But let's go even one level crazier. Family Guy.
I don't watch
the shit that goes on Family Guy is sometimes even sometimes it leaves me with my mouth open. I mean, I never have a problem with it.
But maybe since it's animated, people don't think of it the same way as real people doing it.
But still, it don't change the fact that the shit that's coming out of people's mouth on that show, or some of the shit, my mouth drops not because I'm disgusted. It's more like I can't believe they're getting away with this shit.
Yeah, I don't watch that show, but
the ultimate example of this is a show that's still on the fucking air. It's South Park. the shit that goes on in South Park. Whatchamacallit is G hated compared to that. Al Bundy is G hated compared to this shit. So, we get in our own prison of saying that you can't do this and that anymore.
Yeah, I think you can. It's just you got to look. Maybe you have to look at a different place to find it. But like, there's a lot of the stuff on network is going to be, neutered and safe. Because
or you might face consequence.
Common denominator, and that's why none of us watch anything on network TV anymore.
Listen, you have never not been able to speak your mind. It's just that, or put whatever you want out there. It's just there's consequence. You can literally say anything you want or put anything you want out, but you're not free from people also having the freedom to not like it and to voice their disgust.
Right.
Or to boycott you or to picket you. That has always been the hype. So do you have the balls in the face of that potential consequence to still do your brand of comedy? Most people don't. And a lot of people ask, well, why haven't you did this? Or why don't you do this and that and the other thing? Well, a lot of people won't touch some of the shit that I do for Chen Fu Paul.
Right.
And I accept that.
Yeah, it's tough, but I will say, there's still a lot of great stuff out there if you want, or just like go back and watch old shows before things, and the thing is people used to always not like things, but they had to write a letter in and it was snail mail.
Pick it,
it's like,
or go out and pick it.
You can just tweet and social media and it's more immediate, but
you just hear more people's inner thoughts discussed or butthurtness. You just have to, you're forced to hear about it now, whereas before you weren't.
We can wrap it up soon, but I will say this is a good point though. Like with Lord of the Pies saying they did it to the Simpsons with Apu. So I can understand how people are like, look, there's like no Indian American people on TV at all anywhere. And the one that's on TV is a complete stereotype of the worst things. Like I can understand the level of being upset. And it sucks. And it does suck. And so to that, I wish the answer was that TV was more fair and we saw complexions of all kinds of people on it. Like it sucks because that character in that show, it serves that purpose. But I completely understand the point. And it is offensive to have that stereotype be the only representation.
Yeah, and not exactly. Yeah. And not everything is black and white, and everything has context to it. Okay. So if you have, let's say you have a Latino character on that show that is like the guy I was being with Lupita. He's like a Latin lover and he have a thin mustache and blah, blah, blah. That might not get the poo treatment because you have so many, at this point in time, we have so many different versions of a Latino on TV.
Sure.
Thankfully, that you can choose from, where you can say that don't represent. That's not the only thing in the fucking world. I mean, to be honest, can you name another Indian character aside from Apu in popular culture?
They don't get on TV here.
And so, and on top of that, it's played by a white. It's played by a white guy. On top of that,
right?
So I don't have a dog in that fight. I'm not Indian, although sometimes people might fucking, people don't know what the fuck I am half the time. Fair enough. But I don't have a dog in that fight because I don't know what it feels like. Look, my people is very hot and sexy. We fighters. We work at the churrascaria, giving you delivering the meat, the sausage, the linguiça. We do music and stuff like that, capoeira, playing samba, playing fucking bossa nova. Okay, so I got a lot of positive stuff to be cool about being Brazilian, But if I'm sitting there being an Indian guy, a young Indian guy, and then I go to high school and everybody's like, you fucking Apu. You know what I'm saying? And that's all you got? It's like, God, that might beat you fucking spirit.
That's the whole point.
Oh, God,
back in the day when I was growing up, Roots was the only thing on, or whenever they had brown skin people, I was called Kunta Kinte or whatever. And it's like, that is the whole point. Is like before, for a long time, the only roles Black people had were maids and farm workers or whatever. Like, I completely understand what they're talking about. Like, I completely understand it. And it totally does suck because, yeah, there's no other representation of them. The only one that's on TV in America is Apu. And so every Indian American kid gets called Apu, and it probably sucks.
Karyn Bryant, you can be grateful at least they didn't call you Kanta Kente. Oh, God. That could be, that could add insult to injury. But you know what the thing is like, instead of getting all like, oh, nobody, those Indians aren't no fun or whatever, you know, every once in a while, I understand you like Apu. I like Apu too, okay?
Right.
And also, like, let's say maybe you grew up in Washington and you like the fucking Redskins, and you grew up with your granddaddy gave you a Redskins jersey, and you love the fucking Redskins, and you love the image of the Indian. No, I'm just saying, but I understand that, and the nostalgia and the comfort food of that, you know, I understand. Mm-hmm. We all have that shit. I like Apu. I think Apu is funny, okay?
Funny, yeah.
However, if you get to a point where it's like, is Haley fucking bothering somebody else, and they fucking like they're not getting a fair shake, or they're not getting, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
you know, maybe it's not that, maybe Apu is not that important. Like, me missing Apu, the whatever devastation is gonna be in my life for not having Apu, new Apu material, right, is not equal to what the fuck Apu is doing to these other people. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it don't mean you have to agree, but maybe just attempt to, it's called putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. Just try it out, maybe. And maybe you do that and you still don't give a fuck, but maybe attempt.
Right.
That's what I try to do.
I mean, I think it's like anything, right? And it's like anything where you look back on old movies, and even, for example, like when people look at the Green Hornet and they're like, I can't believe they did Bruce Lee like that. Yeah. You know, I mean.
But this was the time. This was the times. And here's where I disagree. Okay, so I can understand not making any more Apu if you want to make that decision, okay? I can understand, or the actor going, I'm hitchhiring Apu. I can understand that. What I don't agree with is going back in time and litigating that shit retroactively.
Don't try to erase it out of
or going, how dare you have did Apu, you piece of shit, or you know, like
I don't think Hank Azaria should get attacked for that. I don't think,
you know. So that's where I draw the fucking line.
Yeah,
so
I don't think that's
it's like him. Trying to take the values or the stuffs that we understand, the norms of today, and applying them to 30 years ago is a fucking is wacky.
It is, but if anything, yes, you can't retroactively apply that, but you can say, you can at least, I think, look to history and say, okay, this is how certain people have been portrayed, and let's maybe try to move the needle forward a little bit now, because now we can recognize.
You don't punish people. You don't punish people for what they did when we didn't have the societal norms didn't exist then. You know what I mean? Like that we have today.
Yeah, but then I don't know. You could say people like, I don't know, I was just mean to N-words because that's how society was. So everybody was mean to N-words. So I was going to be like that.
I think there's a difference between being actively mean to someone. I think that's not the height equivalence, because no one was trying to be mean to Indian people by doing Apu. You know what I'm saying?
It's just that the one character got then equated with all of it, with basically the whole population.
And that wasn't their intention.
I get it. But you could say the intention was to create the character of the Indian gas station 7-Eleven guy, which is a trope.
But you could also say this.
Certainly.
You could also say this. We didn't need to put a fucking Indian character. We could have made everybody white. You know what I'm saying? So you know, listen, fuck it. Apu exists, and Apu is funny. Okay.
Hey, guess what? Yeah, don't watch it if you don't think it's funny.
Yeah, there you go.
At the end of the day,
and you know what? You know what? We're not hurting for fucking content out there.
I was just gonna say.
You know, it's like there's plenty of shit. Whatever you like is out there, just like food. If you don't like Indian food, don't eat it. No, I'm just saying, like,
I know, but I do.
These days we spoiled for choice and I I can't even keep up with all this shit that everybody says. You
We're
mentioned the
spoiled
show earlier. You mentioned a show earlier, and you said me and so was having a conversation about the ins and outs of this fucking show. The show you mentioned, I never even heard of in my fucking life.
Yeah.
And for you and whoever you was talking about, that's like, this is like a
We're
fucking
intense,
classic.
yeah.
That's how much shit is out there.
Exactly. And I will say, you know, I it's funny because, yeah, I and you know, we have thicker skin than a lot of people. Like I saw a comment the other day on one of my old, you know, the old interview with Rampage, you know, the motorboat interview. Still gets tons of views and stuff like this on YouTube. By the way, if people have seen it, it's got like 10 million views or whatever. And literally every day there's always comments that come in, and somebody was like, oh man, like the fact that she didn't try to sink his career after this, like I applaud this girl or whatever, because it is true. Like in that moment, some girls would have cried foul, sued him, sued the UFC, done all this stuff, whatever. Like, I'm not that girl, you know, I'm not that girl. So I wasn't offended, but like, I can't tell you what you're going to be offended by, what you're not going to be offended by. But yes, overall, I do think people are too easily offended, and that people need to suck it the F up and be like, okay, right, that joke isn't for you, but like, you don't, just because you don't like that joke, that person isn't quote unquote canceled. Like, I do think there's way too many people now who got like way oversensitive and just can't, like, like the world is freaking tough. Suck it the F up, man up, sack up, whatever you want to call it. Take the effing joke, get over it.
Well, you know, I think, you know, sometimes this stuff comes out of good intention, you know, and what it is a case of overcorrecting, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, funny enough, the overcorrecting comes from the group that's not even being made fun of or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's other people who is doing Captain Saberhole for
all kinds of other people told me how offended I should have been by Rampage.
Exactly.
When I wasn't offended at all, there was articles being written, women telling me how I should feel, people writing about the whole thing as if I wasn't even part of the equation.
Yes, and it comes from, a lot of time it comes from a good place, wanting to help, wanting to give voice to the voiceless, or give people a fair shake, whatever the fuck it is. But a lot of time they overdoing it. So, you know, I think the thing is to just try to put yourself, even the fucking people who is overdoing it, try to put yourself in their position too. Like, try to put yourself in everyone's shoes. Say, I understand why this person is getting butthurt, and I also understand why this person is, you know, think this shit is funny. And I know, you know, like try to not make everything a fucking, these people is evil, these people is fucking good, and you know, there's no in between. It's like, people have a height to fuck up and overcorrect, or people can make a little slip up here and there, and try to realize, you know, people make mistakes, and people is not always correct in their approach to every stuff, you know.
Agreed.
And Rampage is a gentleman. He's a consummate gentleman.
Robotic gentleman, like Michael would sack up.
You know what my thing is? You know what my thing is? Here's my commandment, my constitution about this is, I don't have problems with making fun of anybody, whether you be he-charted, whether you be issue ethnicity, whether, I don't give a, your sexuality, whatever the fuck it is. Where I draw the line is where, when you have power to fuck over a group of those people and you put that in place, that's when I have a problem. So I think we should be able to all make fun of each other and talk shit and all that stuff. The problem is where you start fucking people up in the laws and the application of law and stuff like that. That's where I separate from the kinds of people who you know, don't like woke stuff, so whatever the fuck it is.
I agree. Well, thank you, Lord of the Pies. Saying thanks for the show. Cheers. Thank you for the donation. Cheers to you. And saying they love both of us, even if they disagree sometimes. So thank you. Yeah, like, you know, it's tough. But that's the thing is, we all, we
Lord of the Pies disagree?
I don't know
fuck
what they're
you.
disagreeing about. But
fuck him. So first of all, you're dead to us. Lord of the Pies, and what's to disagree with?
But I was going to say, that's the most mature thing of all, to be able to disagree with somebody and still go, at the end of the day, I may not agree with you on this, but you're still cool. Like that's the whole thing. Like people, you know, I deal with a lot of people like that at work or on the things that like, yeah, that think completely differently from me. And
Yeah.
I'm still able to be friends with people who politically or whatever think things like I have friends that are flat earthers and I'm like, how can you actually
Fuck.
be a flat earther? But yet I still love them dearly and they're still my friends, but I don't understand it and it makes me nuts, but I haven't thrown them away because of that. You know what I mean? And I get that maybe flat earthing is a little different than maybe people thinking racism or
What
whatever, but
about
there's still
flat
things that like
earthing?
fundamentally
Flat
or
earthing.
whatever
It's like
that I'm like
spelunking.
confounded by some of the things that my friends believe, but I haven't written
Um.
them off as my friends. So
Yeah. My. I have a lot, as you can imagine. I have a lot of experience with said subject. Okay.
you can't be in
Uh,
the jujitsu world and not come across flat earthers.
I don't disown people for these kinds of stuffs, but I tell you what, it it don't help. It it can take a little bit of his spec. It can take a little of the shine away if you of his spec. You know what I mean? Like some shine. You know what I'm saying? Where you go
Yes,
like,
because with my friends, I'm like, do you really mean it or not?
ah,
Like,
you know, it's
because
a
if you
little
do really mean
sad.
it, yeah, then I
It's a
do have
little
like,
sad.
I am a little bit like,
Like one time I had a girl I was dating that thought that like we was seeing magic at a party, like up close magic, and she thought magic exists. You know what I mean? She didn't
yeah,
realize the guy was getting a good one
like
on us or
holding a
whatever.
card in his hand
She
and like
she thought like,
he was a
oh,
sorcerer
oh,
for
he's
real.
good at magic or whatever, you know? And I had to really like say, wait a second now. Let's dive into that. Like, you know that
She
this
thought
is
there was some
just
supernatural force he was channeling and he was
sleight of
gonna,
hand. I was like, you know, this is sleight. And when she's, I mean, I didn't know this existed. This was news to me that people thought that there was such stuff. And when she, you know, I can't lie. I mean, no matter how you like somebody, a part of you just loses you lose respect for the person.
right.
It don't mean you don't like them. It don't mean you don't care for them. You don't want good for them. But
You're like,
there's something called respect. You know, you lose a little bit of the shine. You go, oh, caralho, wow, you're not as sharp. You're not as sharp as I thought you
I like the
was.
word. Yeah,
And that's
I get,
you can pretend it don't matter, but it matter. You
it
know.
does. It does. Well, hopefully she told you that after you already slept with her. So
Don't worry.
after you gave her the magic.
I gave her some black magic, some light skin magic before the time was over. Creole magic.
Hey,
Yeah,
Himatch.
the
Yeah,
magic stick.
I'm
Yeah,
working this weekend. What do you have going on this weekend? You
she
doing
was
any
working
seminars? Anybody
last
can
weekend.
find you as we wrap up here? Any seminars?
Yeah, I got
Anything?
stuffs coming up in the future, but we far out from that one, so I'm not gonna even start.
What's going on with your video game?
Video games is like molasses. I mean
Yeah.
that the shits is like is being, you know, every once in a while I'll get an update about them going to whatever's the equivalent of like South by Southwest or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, of that things. And you know there's but it all that kind of shit. That's why I don't even, until it's out, I don't really usually like to
Yeah.
even mention that stuff, because video games,
But that
like I
clip you
told you,
put out was so cool, though.
it's great, but you gotta realize the fucking game's not finished when they do that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of
Like
course not.
that's the equivalent of a cheeser, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
I remember years ago I did voices on what do you call Mortal Kombat. Okay, this was the Hibuch of the game, like the big Hibuch at the time. Now,
Yeah.
funny enough, they're doing another. Now is the new big Hibuch
new-
of
right.
that of the video game. But back then, the Hibuch was 2011. Okay,
Yeah.
you know when I recorded the voices for that?
2009.
2008.
Oh shoot. Yeah.
So you do that shit and you just go, say la vie. You know, it's
Yeah.
like planting a tree, and then you
Yeah,
don't. You're gonna
exactly.
see it. You're not gonna see it be a fucking tree for like years. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you just have to kind of put you out of your mind until it happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I wish you the best with that.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun. You know, and there's a lot of work to be done too. That's how I know it's not out yet, because
Yeah.
I still have a lot of shit to do on there.
Cool.
But anyway, yeah. But I'll keep everybody posted.
All right. Well, so where can people find you on social media?
You
On
know what?
redes sociais.
Okay, so Renato _Laranja.
You started breaking up. Hold on, your screen froze.
That was you who's doing that because
No, I didn't touch it.
as soon as you asked me that, you pressed the button.
We can hear you, but your screen is frozen visually.
Still froze?
Yeah.
At least do I look a good position? Like, do I have a good look?
I mean, you look like
Try to explain what I'm
you
doing
do
there.
look like you're like, so you want to
Okay.
go? I don't know.
Okay, so you can follow me on Lorenzo, okay? You got fucking
Okay, see, the fact that he's breaking up, folks, means it's definitely time to wrap up the show. I guess the splice on the favela Wi-Fi has exhausted the tape. The tape is burning a hole. The tape is melting.
It was holding on for dear lifey for a long time, and finally, you wanted that to happen. You waited long enough.
No.
So he was like, how come it's not happening to him? Well, we'll make it go. We'll stretch this one until his fucking splicey is all over.
I will say I'm glad most of the show was perfect. Thankfully, folks, if you joined us late, we had Loopy Godinez on with us for an hour.
Oh.
She was awesome. She was fantastic.
Godinez.
So go back and tune into the first part of the show if you missed any of it. But this is episode 98.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if there's not a press conference where she's tomorrow where she's got hit with her boyfriend.
With her new no what do you call it? Novedad?
Novio. You know, wait, am I back or am I still stuck?
Well, you're kind of in and out like you wish.
It don't matter. Listen, but you can hear me, yeah?
We can hear you, yes.
You know what was great news? Did you find out that Tracy Cortez, that whole thing with your boy Bohachina was bullshit?
Yeah, I don't think she's with Bohachina. It's just like any picture she posts, people go crazy.
Yeah. So a lot of people was relieved from that.
Yeah. She's adorable. I was happy for her to get the win on Saturday. That was great.
Yeah.
Tracy Cortez, another former guest of ours. You guys should go back and look at that episode. So that was my point. Last week's episode had Dan Ige and Bryant battle. Both of those guys are fighting this coming Saturday. Ooh. So if you haven't seen last week's show, it is 100% relevant because they haven't even fought yet. Both of these guys are fighting. Dan is the co-main event against Bryce Mitchell, and Brian is fighting AJ Fletcher. So you got to look back at last week's show. Dan is the first guest, and then Brian comes on later. I even put the time codes up.
Great episode.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. So you should definitely check it out.
Okay, everybody. Until next time.
Okay, folks. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. Episode 98 here. And we will see you next week for 99 and then 100, Hanach.
Oof.
That's amazing.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought it? Well, folks, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And again, you can also find these for audio downloads, Amazon and, Spotify, iHeart, all the places you get your podcast. You can also
Renato_Laranja even. I mean, all that shit.
That's right. And for me, it's KB Heat on IG, Karyn Bryant on Twitter, and on YouTube, Karyn. Bryant as in Kobe, no relation. May he rest in peace. So thank you for joining us here at episode 98 of Fistivities. We'll see you next time. Right, Hanach?
Ciao.
Bye, everybody.